and we're live, just so you know.
Okay.
Um,
Was it after that or before what I just said?
it's after. I
Okay,
wasn't.
thank
Yeah,
God. Woo.
I wasn't. It seemed a little bit too
Right.
rough around the edges. But
Yeah.
what I'm gonna
Okay,
say
cool.
does tie back to what you were talking about. So this is a rebuttal to, or not a rebuttal. This is a new
Right.
comment to what you were saying, but it just reminded me of something. My favorite game ever, I would say probably the most formative video game I've ever played was Final Fantasy X.
Hmm.
And I had Final Fantasy VIII prior to that, which came on PlayStation. It's not really relevant, but regardless, PS2, Final Fantasy X, and the whole premise of the game is, or let me just surmise it in a way. You are a dream walking through reality, if you will, and your
Hmm.
whole goal is to push along a group of people in order to make a reality like complete again. And in that, there's this thing called the pilgrimage, and they're going to fight sin, like because the whole world is has devolved into chaos. It's if you will, it's like post-apocalyptic in some regards. Every year, sin, which is this big mythological beast, comes in and destroys parts of the world, just eradicates people by the thousands, just boom, gone. Sin, it destroys humanity, if you will. And the summoners,
Very interesting metaphor.
so the summoners, they go on a pilgrimage to fight sin. And for a brief moment after they defeat sin, there's what they call the calm. And the calm brings upon, festival and joy and, renaissance and just like a sense of serenity that they don't have while sin is present. Because whenever sin is there, they're always under attack. He could pop up at any moment. He comes through the ocean, and all these fucking places are ocean-based cities. They all live on the coast for some odd reason. But regardless, sin shows up and destroys everything in its wake. So they take the pilgrimage, and at the end of the pilgrimage they find out, because every temple they get to, they have to gain a new summon, and a new summon provides a new way to fight sin when the final time comes. And they get to the final summoning, the final aeon, and they find out that there is no final summoning, and that actually one of the party members has to sacrifice themselves in order to become the final aeon to defeat sin. They don't know that going in. Like, nobody's aware. The only people that know that are the summoners that have already given their life in order to defeat sin. So they get to the final thing, give their life up and they defeat sin and everything goes away. But in that, sin always returns. They give their life up to defeat sin and eradicate the world from evil for a little bit, but he always comes back. And when you were describing those things prior, it definitely gave me that same feeling. Whereas, like, people, what is the end to the violence? I guess is my question. When is sin absolved completely? Because
Right.
when
And it never is, right.
yeah,
And it's like it just, and okay, so just to, I guess, be more esoterical with it, it's the reason why I don't consider anything to be good or bad, because we give these things that context. We have this whole energy around how people are supposed to act. And so when things get violent between people, which ultimately causes them to pass away, it's the ultimate bad. As if it's not just the normal thing that everybody does anyway. It's just a different form of doing it. Like some people, maybe they choose to go out in a blaze of glory. Maybe that's more exciting to them. That's a better way to live to them, rather than going to work and what? Of course, you guys all know where I'm going. The Rick and Morty episode, Pickle Rick. This is what Pickle Rick is about, right? Pickle Rick is about the fact that, like me and like other people, Rick is allergic to doing stuff that other people want him to do. It's just that he physically cannot bring himself to do it if you're telling him to do it, or even if you are suggesting it, and that's what therapy is in general. The idea of therapy is them suggesting what you should do. So that's why he's like, why would I ever do that? And so it's not just him going to therapy, it's him being suggested that he should go to therapy. And not even for him, it's for the kid. So he has to do this for somebody else. So it's just like the complete antithesis of who he is. And so he puts himself in a dire situation, because that's like the therapist describes at the end. She's like, I have no doubt that therapy for you would be boring like it is for me when I wipe my ass, because therapy is not exciting. It's just work, and some people, they don't mind going to work, and other people would rather die. Obviously that's who you are. And so that's who I am. There's no question about it. Like, I can go to work for a certain amount of time, but there's no way in hell that I could have somebody tell me what to do day in and day out, day in and day out. I'd rather go to war than do that. I would, but just in case anybody was wondering, I would mention, I'm just saying. So at least that's kind of like what I get from that is like, it's the point why, it's the reason why we're here. It's for you to make the most in between the time that you live and the time that you're gone. And so it's going to happen either way. And so I do find it very interesting that number one, that it's a way of life that we should, I guess, theoretically be evolved past, but we'll never evolve past it. It seems like, no matter how intelligent we get, I mean, it almost maybe even seems like the more intelligent we get sometimes, the more violence, we have the ability to inflict on each other. That, like, think about it, that atomic bomb thing is insane. That is the one thing that's ever theoretically happened that has made me consider whether or not we are actually too smart as a species. Is there such thing as being too smart and having too much knowledge? When you think about things like the atomic bomb, absolutely. If that is true, then of course there's a point, where we get too smart and too much knowledge, and we start inflicting more calamity. So is a calamity bad or good? I mean, listen, we don't have to talk about it now, but that's the question that I want you all to think about. Is a calamity bad or good? What would you do without the calamity? What would life be? Would we all just go to work every day and blow our noses and go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time? And that's what everybody's expecting life should be.
Now, this is so funny you said that, because there's this epic debate on Twitter right now about the show Severance, and I don't believe you've seen it.
Not yet.
I'm not gonna blow the cover of what it is.
Oh no. Well, you can, if you want to save it for people in the audience, that's fine. But you know me, bro. If it's a good show, I'm gonna watch it anyway. So go ahead.
Basically, the idea behind it is you have there's a company called Lumen, and Lumen is a secretive, very mysterious place, and in order to work on this specific floor, you have to become severed. And in that, you divide your working brain from your non-working
I'm familiar
brain.
with that part of it. Okay, yeah. I'm familiar with that, with the foundation of that. Yeah, okay.
So regardless of all the inner workings of the show, there's this epic debate right now about what the IQ of the average consumer of Severance is. A lot of people who believe themselves to be very big-brained, huge-minded mega minds, they believe that the show is a dumb person's idea of what a smart person would watch. And I'm very divided in that. For one, Ben Stiller is the writer, producer. He's the guy. Okay. This is Ben Stiller's creation. I want to preface that because he does have a very historical track record in Hollywood, as well as, I would say, very nice, very round filmography. Like, he's done a lot. Like, he has a very robust catalog, and he comes from legacy Hollywood, with his father. Rest in peace.
Ben Stiller, despite what Zach Galifianakis says, Ben Stiller is a comedy legend.
So regardless, people are trashing fucking Severance on Twitter. And after the last episode of the second season, rightfully so, fuck that episode. But we'll get into that later on. But people are pretty divided about whether or not it's a high IQ show or a low IQ show. And I think it's a combination of both. I think it plays both sides of the coin very well, where like it gives you moments of I truly don't know what the fuck is going on. And then other times it's like pretty colors and bright lights and get people to like dance, you know. It's a
Really?
odd ensemble of, but I think they're trying to get a point across. I'm just not entirely sure what that is yet.
That's honestly. Listen, depending on, you know me, I always ask the reason for stuff, right? I'll accept any statement as long as you're willing to defend it. Now, if those big brain people were saying that, you know, intelligent people aren't watching that because intelligent people are, you know, studying documentaries or whatever, working all the time, you know, I've heard that. You know, I know that people are like, I don't have time to watch TV shows. And hey, whatever you do in your off time is what you do in your off time, all right? Now, you can't look at any show and say that only dumb people or only smart people watch this. That's craziness. Because I can tell you right now, there are dumb, ignorant people that watch Rick and Morty, and there are intelligent people that watch it. You know, some people watch stuff just to wind down. You know what I mean? Like I watch SpongeBob still to wind down. I'm dead serious. You know, to like if there's so much on my mind that I just can't I need to put on some dumb shit so that way I can focus on nothing really. You know, so. Yeah, you know, stop disrespecting Ben Stiller and the people. I honestly I wouldn't defend it that much unless, you know, if I didn't know that Ben Stiller was the executive producer. I'm sure there's quality in there based upon what I've heard and the fact that it's Ben Stiller executive producing and you said writing it and creating it. Like, come on now.
No, it's actually tremendous. I just have a bone to pick with how the second season ended, but you know, when you watch it, I'm pretty sure you'd have the same conclusion. Like, what the fuck did I just spend the first two seasons doing?
Well, this would be the perfect time to play that Kanye drop if you have it ready.
It was a Jewish doctor.
Every time, I look at it. Shout out Ben Stiller, man. Shout out Ben Stiller. You know, I really loved you on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I did.
I mean, he made Tropic Thunder. Let's not forget this. You know, what
look, I'm gonna let you go, but look, I come on now. This is why I say if Ben Stiller is involved in it, then you have to give some there's some weight to it being more than likely great. You know, Tropic Thunder is top 5 funniest movies of all time. Now, wherever you place it in there, I'll accept, but it's top 5. You know, there's certain, you know. Anyways,
but yeah,
shout out Ben, man.
It's you know what's funny is right before we dropped or right before we started this, Point and Shoot dropped a new episode on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure they
directly calling out Wack 100. And this is not the first time he's done this. I started to think back on in his catalog. He has a couple I would say for his channel legendary videos going at Wack. There's one specifically when him and Jay Diggs got into it, and Jay Diggs made a song about Wack. He did a whole episode on it. It was great. And this whole thing, you know, he's just blatantly calling him out, saying he's you know, he's working with the boys, which is to me, you know, we spoke about this at length yesterday, is a crazy statement to make about anybody, especially anybody with ties to the streets. They're going to take that like you spit in their face.
Right. Well, that and I think it's low hanging fruit at this point. It's like, okay, listen, there's a Fed investigation on. Everybody this is the Spider-Man meme going on right now, where everybody's like, so calling him a Fed and working with the Feds is like, there's a million people online saying that right now, you know, and they've been saying it for a while. They've been saying it.
Exactly. Until there's paperwork like how Wack kind of operates, it's never going to be. It's just like shooting into the air. You're not getting anything out of it. So I watched the video because it was funny, but you know, it's the same response where it's I wouldn't even pay it no mind, and Wack really
Listen,
doesn't.
listen, Tyson. Let's be real for a second, right? What do these people have to talk about that they're not hearing on the internet? They don't have any perspective on this. They don't like almost none of them deal with this in real life. There's a few cats out there that have perspective on it, you know, and you can tell right when you look at their face. Most everybody else, they're just gonna repeat what they hear. Look, shout out, like you said about Trap Lord Ross. Trap Lord Ross cannot operate without his computer. He needs to be able to look something up and repeat what somebody else had already written on the internet. Do you understand? Wack sitting there, bare, bald head. Hey, just dude. Listen,
I watched that
y'all
segment
know,
back quite a bit this morning because I was editing. He was completely relaxed the whole time. It seemed very aggressive the first time I watched it back, but after I watched it with the knowledge of what's capable, he was
right.
sitting back with his hands in his pockets, looking
Mhm.
like this.
He was being overly calm, but it
Yeah.
felt aggressive because of the nature of what he was saying. It's the same way I say people always think that I'm forcing my opinion on them when I never even give them my opinion. I'm just questioning you so aggressively while I'm sitting back in my chair, and it feels invasive. You know what I mean? My aura, it's like throwing your aura at somebody. Listen, Hunter, for all my Hunter x Hunter fans out there, they describe this to a T, what Wack is doing and what I'm doing. Where it's like really, we're throwing our aura at you. It's like our presence is being felt so much that it feels like we're being aggressive, but it's not. Just, you know.
I bet I got a I forgot I
You gotta get out.
yeah, I forgot I saw a probably sorry. Before we get into this again, there's something
Right.
I wanted to start the whole stream off of because I just thought it was so great and everybody needs to see this this you know what it is? All these damn streamers, they rise to fame so much and then they meet like real individuals, like people with real stature, people with real frame and poise and peace of mind, and they have no fucking actual defenses when you can't cut up a clip or you know doctor what you're trying to say, and in real time
Right.
you have to defend the actions and words out of your mouth. They fall apart. I've seen it time and again, and now we have Steiny from the Nelk Boys. I had to read it because this guy to me is like just very cretin like. Every time I see him, he looks like he's scheming or up to no good, you know? And even his name is kind of like he sounds like one of the old
he looks like the white brick baby. I've only seen these guys once or twice, and I know what you mean, you know.
I place it. He reminds me of like a D character from American Pie. Like not like one of the main cast, but one of the dudes in the background, kind of just at all the parties.
Let's pick something here. Yo, do you guys want to play pool?
Oh, I made it! I made it!
Okay,
Pause
so
Okay,
I was gonna give some context because I gave no context to this.
Give the context before I start roasting, because
The
you
Nelk Boys are hanging out with Tristan and Andrew Tate. So they are.
How the mighty have fallen. Go. I mean, I know that's not like a true statement. It's a joke because the Nelk Boys are bigger than Myron and them. I'm just saying though. Listen, before we continue, right? This is a huge problem with a lot of streamers right now. And Academics had this problem this past weekend when he was posting those trash ass boat pictures. I don't know if you saw those boat pictures. Listen, what y'all think, because you guys are nerds, right? Because you're nerds for the most part, and I'm a nerd too, don't get me wrong, but I'm not your kind of nerd, all right? There was never a time in life that I didn't get pussy. Never. You understand? Never. The minute that I wanted to start getting women, I got them immediately. And the ones that I wanted. I dated the prettiest women at my school and in college and all the women I wanted to date in life. So I'm chilling now, right? You guys, you just started getting women, and so you know you get a little, you know what I mean? A girl touches you and then you start having tunnel vision. You start thinking that it's a bad bitch, right? Because you guys haven't slept with them yet. I guarantee if you guys had slept with these chicks already and the dust had been knocked off, you'd be like, what am I putting on camera? What kind of Gila monster gremlins am I pulling out of the holes and bowels of the sewer to pretend like I got bitches? Ack, what the fuck was that? I was like, is Ack flexing with midgets? I swear to God, that was my first thought. I'm like, does he have a bunch of midgets on board as a joke? Is he doing Drewski? I thought Ack was doing Drewski. Ack, I legitimately thought you were doing Drewski on that from that boat picture. All right, listen, them hoes wasn't shit. I'm sorry.
I've never seen academics take one fly pic. Not one still frame ever in my entire life have I seen him where he looked cool. He might have been present. He might have been like in the moment, but I've never seen him look like, like a James Bond villain. Like in my lifetime, I've had 1,000 pictures taken of me. 3 or 4 of them were like dope enough to put on my fucking Hall of Fame in heaven when I get there, or wherever we end up.
Yeah.
Ack ain't got one of them. This motherfucker be trying so hard in every fucking picture. To the point of,
I personally go to my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying to the point of like wearing fake designer, anything to like fucking just get his mindset in the mode, but it's not working.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't think I take great pictures either. I think I look much better in person. But I can tell you like this, man. You ain't never gonna see me anywhere flexing with a bunch of midgets on a boat. You know what I mean? Trying to, and then you know what? I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to have to do this. Like I said, I'm sorry. We should get back to the video. All right, because I didn't want to have to bring this up, but I hope this is not a true story. But I saw a video that it's rumored that academics actually went to prom with his mom. I don't know if it's true. That's why I said I didn't want to have to bring this up. But I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. When you do stuff like what you did this weekend with them chicks on the boat, like you looked at them chicks on that camera, was like, and then you put your face on it, not the face stamp. He thought, oh yeah, I'm bodying it today. Did you see? Go look at Cameron's body challenge and Felicia Rashad challenge. Go look at those bitches on there. I even personally think that, okay, they bad, but it's not like Felicia Rashad. It shouldn't be the winners of the Felicia Rashad. I said that on there. Only one of them actually should be in this competition. But go look at them compared to the chicks that I had. Oh my God. You letting a 60-year-old Cameron body. This is a 60-year-old man. And I get it. Cam. He been in the game for a while, but you supposed to be the young swaggy. You think Cameron gonna body like some Nick Young or something like that right now? No. Think about when Nick Young was rocking. You know what I mean? Nick Young had them stars. And you supposed to be. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Play the video. I'm sorry.
Also, I don't trust nobody with no facial hair. I just want to throw that out there.
Hey, you know what? Listen. We said that's one of our mottos here. All right, one of our mottos, and I'm gonna give you another one of our mottos at some point later on. You know what I mean? But one of our main mottos is if you are over, especially if you over 50 or 60. If you over 50 or 60 and you don't have facial hair, what are you doing? Check his search history. Check the search history right now. All right, and if you over 30 and you ain't got like, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. I get it. In your 20s, you want to, you know what I mean? You want to do this. But see, this guy right here, if he's over 30 with that bald face like that, this nigga is a bona fide scammer. Anybody with a bald face over 30, like straight bald, come on. What are you doing?
He's got the Kramer face going on full-fledged. I don't know what's going on with this guy. This is what I'm saying. They'll make anybody fucking famous now. You could just, this is the threshold for getting into places that they used to be elite. You would have to fucking throw whole families into a fire, blow up buildings, do whatever you could to push your way through the cracks and become something.
And this is who Andrew Tate is hanging right now, right? As I say, I think the Nelt boys are probably technically bigger than who he was with initially, but he was just with, you know what? Look, I'm gonna leave it right there. We can move on.
I'm about to beat that ass up. What's up, baby? How you doing?
Okay, this is our culprit right here. I just wanted to frame in. This is the Steiny
Doing? Good? Yeah, what do you think about that? Me and her getting it on, Mr. Tate?
I think that would be the luckiest day of your life, young man.
Of my life.
I feel like you...
Pause it. What? Okay, hold on. What are they doing? Explain to me one minute. What are they doing?
Well, I think the Tates are stealing all of their aura. You know, they're like whatever little soul they have remaining, they're just kind of walking around the room taking it from them. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I that's the only thing I could surmise from like what is actually transpiring, because like what's we're actually visually seeing is just some sort
Is
of
that
weird...
what you just said? Yeah, what we're seeing is what you just said. But I'm trying to figure out, what are they supposed to be doing? What is this? Go ahead.
You have been praying every single day of your life since you've been born for a moment like that. And I'm not sure she's that generous, but let's pray to God she is.
Hey, could be ski bros, Tate.
Imagine you guys being Eskimo bros.
We are.
Pause it. But she looks like Robert F. Kennedy. RFK Jr.'s wife now. She looks like her now, not when she was whatever age this girl probably is. You know what I mean? She looks like a 50-year-old woman. That's whatever that was.
Oh boy, right here is extra excited to be part of this action too.
Bro, you guys have to get some class, man. And I'm not even class, all right? F that. F class. You have to get some taste. You guys not have taste? You don't like the finer things in life? You want you want to stay in Tweakerville? And I guess the shaved faces just say it all. It's the shaved faces say it all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The difference between experiences?
We are. And I heard I was better too.
There's no way that's true on either level.
I just left Tristan's. I need to get the job done. Comes over to my place.
I didn't know you fucked your own sister.
Pause it. See, and this is why I say, oh, how the mighty have fallen, right? I'm like, why are they even here? Like, you know, shout out Tristan Tate though. I've always said that Tristan has played his role and what they're doing perfectly. Tristan Tate is like the non-joke version of Johnny Bravo. You know, Johnny Bravo is trying to be an imitation of a certain type of guy and satirically make it like he's the guy that doesn't get it though. Tristan Tate is the successful version of the Johnny Bravo types, as you guys haven't been able to see. You know, so shout out Tristan, man.
This is the craziest Make-A-Wish I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, speaking of Make-A-Wish, I thought about something funny when Tim Dillon was watching the Pakistani lady thing. You know, I just thought, like, you know, that Pakistani lady that's over the one that's from New York that's in Pakistan. Yeah. I'm like, is that like the DEI version of the economic hitmen, or is that like how like Trump had the Make-A-Wish? You know what I mean? And he had the dude become a Secret Service or whatever. Yeah. Did they do that for her? And she actually like took the job seriously? You know what I mean? Because like you examine her speech and she's just like, yeah, I'm over here to help you guys, and I need $50,000. It's like in a way she's like doing a Make-A-Wish version of what that job is supposed to be.
I couldn't even imagine the gall of being able to like go into a foreign land and fucking demand that, like, this shit sucks. That's basically what she said. She's like, this is terrible. I need money right now. We got to fix this. But I need to fix it, though. I don't know. That lady was fucking bonkers.
No, think about it. She works for the CIA. Think about it. What does the CIA do? What the economic? They go over there and say, this land sucks. It needs to be fixed. I'm going to fix it. You guys give me your money so I can fix your land. And when they say no, they send the American military in. Did they accidentally send her in? And she just and that's her interpretation on the job though. Like that's how she does it. That's her. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, she's the Make-A-Wish version of it. Anyways, it was a dumb joke.
We have, you know, because we like to do a Dr. Umar segment. I think on every week we've pretty much hit Dr. Umar. I just want to give a quick update about what he's been up to, because I think we're watching an ascension into super. I don't even know what this is. This looks like Michael Jackson hit the stage. Look at this shit.
I'm fucking weak.
You would
You
have
see
thought
why I
they just
said
saw Malcolm X. He just
you
rose
see
from
why
the
I said
grave.
he right? You see why I said he's our Casey Anthony? You see? You see? It's horrible. It's awful. It's like look at it. Look at it. What is going on, dude?
I think
I want to somehow turn my back on that, bro. I want to pretend like that doesn't exist. I want to pretend like that's not a real video. Look, he paid for this. Listen, he paid these people. He paid them all $100 or whatever, however much. All right. No way in hell. All right. This is a genuine response. No way in hell. All right. These are paid actors. I'm gonna flag this video when we get off. All right. I'm gonna flag this video for inauthenticity. Because there's no I know. All right. Bet money. What? You want to bet? Bet me. Go ahead. Bet me. I dare you. Bet me that these aren't paid actors.
they're so fucking happy. You would have thought he just cured cancer.
They just got $100. You would have thought they just got $100, didn't you? A free $100. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dr. Umar fixed all the chirps in their batteries all at once. Duh.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? Because it's at an HBCU, I do believe that college students are that dumb. Yeah, I can believe college students are that dumb. Then, you know what? No bet. Sorry. Yeah, no bet. Yeah, no bet. Because I've been to college. And I'm in a black fraternity myself, and so I know how dumb motherfuckers could be. So, all right, I'll give you that, Dr. Umar. Well played. Taking advantage of these dumb kids. All right. These dumb, idiot, moron kids don't know anything. And you're over there taking advantage of them while they're at their most vulnerable. They're sitting there in class just letting people who make less money than probably all of their parents, and probably less money than them if they play football. Or if they play football at an HBCU, they are in class right now letting somebody who makes less money than them dump information into them as if it's factual. Information that they just read out of a book. No, think about it. Not an independent thought in the bunch. There's not an independent thought in that entire school. You know what I mean? Just a big regurgitation, circle jerk of knowledge going on, and they're taking advantage of them. That's not right. All right, I do not condone this behavior. Sorry.
I worked as an usher in college briefly for like 6 months because I work study. I was broke and needed money. A lot of the college athletes end up doing it. And one of the guys on the football team got me this job working at the campus play, the fucking auditorium where they do the plays. The campus. So I was an usher. And I was letting people into the plays. And most of the time it was some boring shit, but every once in a while they'd have somebody cool on. So randomly, like one night, I never looked at the schedule, but we were opening and we had to cast a Reno 911 coming in to do I don't know, like a meet and greet. I'm not really even certain what it was, what I watched. Like they didn't do a play, they didn't do stand up, but they were there like kind of like performing. And plus we used to go like, fucking fuck off during the show. So we never were actually like, we were supposed to be in there, but we weren't. Regardless, we never got anything as cool as Dr. Umar showing up. Like never one time would I have been this excited. If Dr. Umar showed up to my college, I'd have been ecstatic.
I'll tell you what, we had a bunch of like, big performers for like, major like festival type things every year. And so Big Sean had actually came once, and of course YG, all the LA people. But as far as like shows in that vein, we had Marlon and Shawn Wayans come to our school, and quickly found out that they were probably got some homosexual tendencies. No offense, but I mean it was fast. It was right to the point. And and there was somebody else who was opening for them that was pretty funny. I always think it's Russell Peters. I don't know why, because he reminded me of Russell Peters. I don't know that Russell Peters ever opened for them, though. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I can't vouch for that. But yeah, they came one time, and it was just a whole bunch of gay jokes. This nigga Marlon Wayans stuck the whole microphone in his mouth, talking about Michael Jordan dunking on somebody. He's like, you was probably sitting there like, oh. I was like, And then Sean, hey, I respect Sean for this. I'll tell you what, like, because before that, I would have told you that Marlon was funnier than Sean. But after seeing him on stage, I'm like, no. I'm gonna pick Sean over Marlon on stage. Because our school was the number one ASL school. So we had a deaf basketball player on our team. We're known for having a bunch of deaf kids. His entire set was about meeting and fucking a deaf girl. It was so uncomfortable in there, bro. It was so uncomfortable, and he powered through like a champ. I admired it. I admired it at the time. You know what I mean? Like I said, I couldn't laugh because I'll tell you, like, pin drop for some of those jokes, bro. And he just sat there and laughed at himself the whole time and went right through like. I was like, bro. Me and my niggas were sitting there like.
People forget how brutal the Wayans brothers were like back in the day, and I even forget that most of people weren't alive to even have seen In Living Color and seen all these movies that kind of were
Major Pain.
Exactly, so pivotal for all of our childhoods. Like I think of something like Handyman, and then they did it in movie form with Blank Man. They just took the concept.
Blank Man. Yep.
And they made a special superhero twice. They named it two different things and did it and then they had Homie the Clown, just all these like fringe autistic characters.
Right. Making characters that stick. Yeah, they're good at making characters that stick. And Major Pain stuck. Yeah. Blank Man, like you said, and then anyways, I definitely agree. I will say that shit caught me off guard though, because I didn't expect. I thought Marlon was gonna be way funnier than Sean, because he's obviously seen as the goofier one, So
yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
I think Marlon has a Kevin Hart type of like style of comedy where he's very physical. He relies on his body quite a bit. He's all over the place. Sean and they even
speaking
said,
of relying on.
Oh, go ahead.
No, back. No, I was just saying, taking notes to the background. Speaking of relying on their body, what you have playing in the background, but finish what you're saying though.
Oh yeah, I did have that pulled up because we're definitely late on the Ashton Hall train, right? Like by the time Mr. B starts making jokes about the shit is cooked, is done. The relevancy is gone. It was hot for the first day and a half, but I did want to say some things about this because it's not that it bothered me, whatever, right? But for whatever reason, there's like an inclination for like once a month we find like a new buff black dude to fucking rally around, and he's like the dancing Negro of the week, and we got
it was the banana on the face, wasn't it? It was the banana. I know what it was. I know it was the banana. As soon as you saw the banana, you were like, "Get this off my phone. Get this off." Somebody find him. Somebody go find him right now and stab him in the leg. Somebody change his steroid pills with estrogen like they did in the Longest Yard right now. All right. Get rid of those steroid pills. Okay. I do not want to see a large Negro on my phone rubbing banana pills on his face.
Bro, there's a new one every week. They had the dancing gorilla.
Well, he's back in the news. He's back somehow. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just saw another one. That fucking Tariq Nasheed posted. That one big bluff dude. Yeah, he's back. That's one of our Casey Anthony's too. You know what I mean?
It really like, because look, we are fighting for some sort of, I would say, a mainstream type of acceptance, in that like we are the pivotal like leaders of entertainment and style and fashion and all these things people tend to copy from us, but we still don't get the respect from the common man, where they're just like tired of these type of antics. And for whatever reason, they're pushed upon the general public, and in a way that, like, I didn't know this, but apparently this is the most viewed video on Twitter ever.
What? Well, I mean, now, sorry, I guess it really was viral. I mean, it didn't make it across my timeline like that. Like I saw the pictures, and as soon as I saw the football mask, I'm like, this nigga's clowning. I see what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, and that's all I saw of it. Yeah, as soon as I saw that part, I'm like, I see what could.
All right, so I've never watched this in the entirety. I've only seen it in clips and stills and like people dissecting
Does
it
he
themselves.
speak? Does he speak? Is anybody talking like? What does he sound like? I'm like, has he said anything about this, or he's just like letting it rock?
He sounds like Dave Blunt's.
I'll tell you why. This is why it's the most watched video.
No, honestly, this is fucking genius. Like from a comedic standpoint, I couldn't ask for a better like line of clips in a row where it's just like, okay, now we're the minimalist vibes. It's just like we're just gonna have this ticker real quick, very serious. You're gonna you do this every day. Remember this. This is what you do.
Right.
This is
no, you're dead serious. Like yeah, I don't know if you saw the most recent Kings. Oh, that's why you said you didn't make it all the way through. But you know they did more auditions, right? And one of the dudes had a funny ass audition where he just kept opening and closing doors before every single line. He was like, and in the middle of a speech, the door was just slammed. He's like, yes, those skate buttons are plowed. And he stopped next door. He'd open the door again, crack, crack. Yeah, so I was gonna do it in the middle of a speech, plowed. That shit had me crying after the third time. I'm like, he's a good producer. He understands. Visually is a customer. He's watching it. So, like, I can see why, I guess, it went viral. The most watched video on Twitter seems kind of crazy. But, like I said, I only went and watched the whole video when you said we were going to talk about it, you know. So, but when I did watch it, though, I was like, yeah, this is funny.
It's great, man. And people, there was two like marketing aspects that people were highlighting. One was the fact that the account that posted it originally, they got all the views, was not monetized, so they couldn't receive any of the engagement pay for it. I'm sure it would have been thousands of dollars minimum. And then second, it was an unpaid video for the dude, so that water brand Saratoga Springs had like a 1,400% increase in search after that, right. And people were putting it in the front of stores and all like it was. Yeah, it became. I put it in the thumbnail. Like I was putting the bottles, just hiding them in the thumbnail because it's just funny. But yeah, the power of this medium is untapped, and people look at you fucking insane for even bringing up the wanting to do it still to this day. They're like, oh, okay, like get a job or whatever the circumstances. I'm like, you don't understand the power in flapping your fucking gums yet, but you will because you can say things.
And he's not even doing it, right? He's not even saying anything. True. And I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but everybody knows that dark African guy that during the pandemic got really, really big from doing the, but he should be the perfect example for you guys that you really only have to find a good facial expression lane. You understand? A facial expression lane. You know what I'm talking about, right? The black dude where it's like he'll show some super dumb, complicated stuff, and then they'll hold up a fork and be like, it's like this nigga don't talk at all. Even in the celebrity games he be playing in, he does a lot of celebrity soccer games now. I still haven't heard him say one word. Anyways.
My fault, guys. I just realized that I did have the video playing on the wrong part of the stream. So, yeah, people couldn't see it. But they could hear it. Yeah. We do have it back, though. We'll just play the first 20 seconds for people so they can catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. This shit is genius, bro.
Preaching about the arrival of Christ.
No, my favorite part's coming up. My favorite part.
I never realized he put lemon in the water before he dunked his face in it.
Oh, yeah. It was skipping a little bit on my thing. I missed that part.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, hilarious.
Going up.
This physique's not even functionally like, it's not utilitarian. Like nothing about it makes your day better. I don't know, whatever. Maybe I'm hating.
I guess I guess he used to be a D1 running back or something like that. So you can see how he probably already had that buff type of frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he, like I said, he's probably got the LeBron juice.
Isn't that pretty
crazy?
crazy?
That LeBron juice.
People started doing like deep dives on this guy's history as soon as he became viral. I saw pictures of him, what you're talking about, on a roster for football. I saw eviction notices. People were like, "Yeah, he got evicted." I'm like, "What the? This is what I'm saying." Like, this is why you can't take the internet serious, because people will do anything, and there's no type of way to go back and pull up their eviction notices or, start digging into their life. You have to be of a certain notoriety to even get the chance to be nitpicked like that. So,
yeah, no, you really have to not care. You know what I mean, about what people say. You have to be a bigger troll. That if we did not learn anything from Wack, all right, learn the rules of the game and play. That's it. Wack, like, okay, so you can say whatever you want about me. All right, fine. The top 5, I heard that you was getting bent over in jail. Bent over, buddy. Yep, I heard that. I don't know. I'm just saying I heard it.
Going up.
3, 2, 1.
I'll give it to him. He's athletic.
It's good to meet you, man. Respect it.
That's crazy.
Thank you, bro.
He doesn't have a sponsorship with the water?
No, that's what what they're
crazy.
saying. I mean, like, we don't we don't know, I guess, but they're saying like it was unpaid.
This is the part I saw right here.
Nah.
One more time. Go back. That's the part. I'm like, yeah, like, but of course, like I said, it's our Casey Anthony. It's like, nigga, nobody does this, okay? Nobody
You get
rubs
one
bananas on their
chance
face.
to bring somebody back from the dead, and you get an hour with them. You're like, okay, we get an hour. I'm bringing Frederick Douglass back, and I'm playing this video on an hour.
I want to know I want to see Dr. Umar's reaction to this. I want to hire Dr. Umar. I want to see what this nigga thinks about this, nigga. What do you think about him and the snow bunny? What do you think about the snow bunny bringing the black king a banana, handing the black ape a banana so that nigga can rub it on his face? All right, look at this shit. This shit is jokes, nigga. Oh my god.
Oh, I just realized they got like mushing sounds like pushed into it too.
I know. They got the mac and cheese sound. This nigga mac and cheese in his face with a banana.
This guy is fucking sick.
Dog, that shit had me crying when I saw it.
Thank you.
More bananas! No! No! Why did he look at
You've made your first 10,000. Congratulations. We got to do at least 20, bro.
That shit had me crying right there. You made your first 10,000? We got to do at least 20. Get out of here, bro.
That's crazy. I
That
did.
shit
He
hilarious.
sounds exactly like I thought he would sound. Honestly.
Why was this nigga looking through Instagram at pictures of bananas in grocery stores? This nigga just looks at pictures of.
Go ahead.
Did I read that wrong?
No, you were right, but I believe he was screenshotting a post from Drake
of some bananas.
The bananas in the water was, and this is why we got to go back and do our due diligence for these things. And
is that like an actual routine?
No, I'm thinking like, did Drake inspire this whole thing? Like,
this is because Drake did do a video like this actually.
And I told you all of his posts. Wait, this is a flashback. I told you all his posts are kind of like cryptic and very, schizophrenic like. He does post things out of context that don't really align with all the rest of his posts. So it's very likely he did post a banana and this water at some point.
Just like a secret hint, like not giving away the secrets, but if you know, you know.
If somebody would have seen it, Ashton Hall saw it. He saw the signs. He read he knew the numbers. He saw the knowledge.
He's like, put it to the test. Banana in ice water. That's how I can look. Listen, I don't like talking about men's appearance that much, especially not like their physical appearance. I'll talk about what you have on and stuff or whatever. But listen, if you guys got to do all that, you know what I mean? Listen, go, you know what I mean? Go, I don't know, maybe it's time to lay it down, all right? I ain't never took an ice bath in my life. I ain't never had to rub banana on my face, and I still look the same as I do when I was in high school. I mean, not really. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but nigga, trust me. When I'm 80 years old, I'm gonna look exactly like this. Not a face ice bath in sight.
Sick, dog. That's what I'm saying. The level for entry is so low now. You never know what's gonna pop off, and this was a clear example of. I don't think they knew. Maybe they did, but it seems like he's probably been doing. He had 8 million followers. Like he's probably been doing these things for quite a. Are you looking at what I have on the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, what's funny is that I referenced that video that's playing like 3 streams ago, but I didn't know I saved it. But it was when we were talking about people getting pepper sprayed when Rainwater and Jin Lee got into it. I had referenced a video I saw about this dude going berserk, and then he got pepper sprayed, and then he started, help me please, change his whole tune. So
speaking of Rainwater though, did you? We didn't mention this when we talked about the Sauce Walker thing, but I heard Rainwater say that the dude stood over Sauce Walker and let him live because they saw it was him. They didn't know it was him at first. That boy Sauce Walker got 9 lives, boy. I'm telling you, Sauce Walker, Youngin Ace, 50 Cent. There's some people that's like cockroaches. Not in the. I mean that atomic bomb can't get them out of here.
Did you see the videos of Sauce Walker doing? They said he would like. See, this is what I'm saying. The people put so much funk on it on the internet, but basically after all that after that happened, videos of Sauce Walker. Like right after filming with people, like he was doing promos with people right after.
Right.
And they said he looked like he was under duress. Basically, like people in the comments were like, blink twice. Like they were saying basically like he was just trying to get out of Memphis safely.
Facts.
It did. Well, that's the hard thing. He could have been on pain meds for sure. He had just been shot at and almost killed. And shot. So, like, of course, you're going to be on high alert. Like, you're not, of course, you're going to be looking over your shoulder. But it was interesting. They definitely were trying to indicate that he was under duress, which that's like, it's just everybody has a narrative they're trying to push. And it's like whoever's voice is the clearest and the loudest usually wins, unfortunately.
Oh, you're 100% right about that. Let me see. There is something that I know we're not going to get to today, but I had it written down when Chad and Cam were going back and forth. There was a topic in there that I wanted to talk about, and I was watching the Cam and Vlad thing, and dude, like 16 minutes in, I never wanted to hear Vlad's voices. I've never wanted to hear Vlad's voice so much, dog. Listen, the message to my brother Cam out there. I know you're gonna hear this eventually. All right, I know you will. My brother, all right. We even out here on the West Coast, we see you as like one of the freshest dudes of all time. Freshest, coolest dudes of all time. You can just step in any room and fit in and be a part of whatever's going on, right? Listen, as a podcaster, an on-camera personality, Cam, you suck. All right? You suck. You still suck. All right? You're not there yet where you could just rant for hours and hours and hours and say whatever's on your mind and it'll be interesting. They were literally on there arguing, debating back and forth who has had the longest run in Harlem. That was the debate that they had. I had to listen to that for 15 minutes. No, man. No. What you mean, man? No. I'm like, is this nigga gonna squeal in my ears for the next 30? I'm like, where is Vlad? I'm like, I've never said that ever in my life. I'm like, I just want to hear Vlad now. I just want to hear Vlad, please. Can you please stop? What you mean? I was in Ohio. Go ask them niggas in Ohio, man. Go ask them niggas in Ohio. Anyway, we're going to have a conversation about how people in New York communicate versus the rest of the people in the world and why that shit just like does not translate sometimes. And y'all are the pioneers of a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to talking a lot of lingo. Don't get me wrong, but god dang, Cam, watch Joe. All right? I know you guys hate Joe. Y'all are all his sons now. Whether you like it or not, you're all Joe's sons now. All right? If you don't watch Joe, stop recording shit, okay? Go watch Joe, Cam, and you'll learn how to be good at this job that you're copying from him. I know you don't want to hear that. No, I always used to talk sport. I used to always talk sport. Cam, go watch Joe so you can learn how to be good at this, please, because you are trash right now. But you're so cool and you're naturally funny and entertaining, so we like you, and that's why I watch you. But you need Mace, nigga. All right? For real. You without Mace? No, sir. All right. Mace is keeping me interested in between you screaming and being yourself, which is cool. My bad, bro. Anyways.
No, you're fine, dog. I'm not well versed enough, and the only things I see of them are clips where, Cam does. I would say like it's 50-50 where like they are very complimentary. So yeah, I couldn't see, and just the idea even of sitting through a Harlem-based discussion sounds horrific. I'm not gonna lie. I have
Harlem
a lot of
/ Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, Ohio, nigga. Imagine me tuning into a conversation about some gosh dang Ohio. Like, nigga, I don't give a damn about the Buckeyes, dog. I don't care. I don't care. All right, please, talk. My bad. I don't want to. Like I said, we're gonna talk about this later because this was the problem with Cam and Ocho Cinco, where it's like Ocho Cinco said something, and like I always say, people from the South, black people from the South, spread out from the South to Chicago area to the West Coast. Most of the black people who are on the East Coast are from foreign lands. You have a lot of Jamaicans in New York. Jamaicans run New York. Jamaicans, Haitians, it's mainly Caribbean in New York. All right, what has been the theme of my whole speech and Tariq Nasheed for the past however long, but specifically over the past 6 months? Like I said, once I had to do that debate about black people in America, and I start realizing all of the stuff that is actually come from the Caribbean and Africa that we are taking blame for. But when they do something good, they not black, right? No, we don't know. We're not them, right? I'm like, okay. Like, dude, New York, most of the people out there, y'all are Jamaican and Caribbean and African and Indian and Asian. It's mainly foreigners out there. So you guys have a foreign way of talking and doing stuff. And it's mixed with the Americanism, and so that's why it's cool and it translates. But most of us out here, we don't talk like that, all right? We don't talk like foreigners. We understand each other right away. We know when each other's hating and when each other's not. you guys have a completely different way of talking in New York than the rest of the whole world. I mean, the rest of America as it relates to black people, you know. And that shit was just either way. One day we're gonna talk about that in depth because y'all motherfuckers be emotional than a motherfucker. But just a quick context. I know I'm speaking esoterically, but when Chad was shopping himself around to get a job as a host, Cam had offered him a job, and he told Cam respectfully to contact my agent, and you guys talk numbers, and Cam didn't like that. It's out of his own mouth. He didn't, you know. I got you, Cam, bro. You made me sit through 20 minutes of a conversation about Ohio this morning, dog. I can't get that 20 minutes of my life back. So, so Chad is like, listen, respectfully, you know, if you don't want to talk to my agent, then I can't do it, man. You know, it's cool. You know, I got some other stuff coming, and you know, him and Shannon got the top football show now. And so when he respectfully declined the offer, and Cam made a statement about it, like, oh, I was trying to boom. He came out and made a statement, was like, listen, no, you know, I'll rock what y'all doing over there. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, part of what you're doing is what inspired me to get in the game. I'm coming for your spot, man. You know what I mean? And like a, you know, a joke, and I'm joking, like, you know, like, look, y'all got the number one spot, and I'm coming for you, like, not in a like I'm hating on you type of way, but this nigga Cam went on a big stop hating on me rant. Yeah, I'm like, I can't, you know, see, it's because y'all talk different. It's because y'all talk different than us out here. You know what I mean? And so, and Chad like, well, man, if you're gonna be like that, then fuck you, man. God damn it. You know, fuck you then. All right, it ain't it ain't that serious. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, he's like, if you really got a problem like that, you know, I'll be outside all the time. It ain't nothing. That's why I'm like, all right, yeah, Cam, you know, nigga, I know you're a rapper and all that, you feel me? But nigga, yeah, that nigga Chad is still in shape. You better relax.
Ocho got knocked out in that boxing event he did, but he was fighting a boxer.
Did he get knocked? I didn't watch it.
I don't think he got completely knocked out cold, but he did get TKO'd, and I believe he got knocked down.
Listen, man, I just want to say for y'all football players, man, you know, T, I know you're a basketball and a football player, but I put you in the football camp mainly. Yeah, y'all been taking big L's in that boxing ring, dog. Big L's. Nigga, well, I guess basketball, we took one too with the Nate Robinson. But the Frank Gore and Darren Williams, it was like, Frank.
Like, Ray Darren Rice Williams is the only one holding us down right now.
Ray, you said Ray? That's
Ray Rice.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I mean? You know. And if you get it, you get it. You know what I mean? We're not going to. But yeah, no, look.
Yeah, no,
they're taking big L's.
Good. It's not. It's not good. You know, yesterday before we left off, you know, we spent a lot of time on the no jumper thing. I think everybody's talking about it right now. There's one or two things more I wanted to touch on about it, but we can do that later. What I was getting into was I just had a bunch of, like, I guess we've been doing it this whole day, is just had a bunch of goofy clips lined up just to go through and see how we felt about them. Just because I think there was a lot of life lessons in all the different stuff I pulled out. We left off on a goofy one. I don't know if you remember that girl dancing in front of her team. But there was actually some other ones that were a little bit more specific to different things. So I don't know if you'd be willing to, if you want to go through that.
No. I mean, let's definitely do it. Like I said, I had a whole bunch of stuff already on my list before that, you know. And one of them, ironically, we already talked about this individual, but I should have brought it up when it came up. But you know, Dr. Umar was shut down by Cash App.
I did see that, and it was on my notes as well, but I wasn't too ready to bring it up because I couldn't verify when it happened. You know, you get videos on the internet out of context, and I'm like, is this recent or is this something that happened years ago and it's rectified now? But it seemed like it was recent when I was reading the comments.
Yeah, no, it just happened, I think, last week, right before all this other stuff happened. And I wanted to get a montage together of him saying, "Get your Cash Apps," and then now today is like, Cash App is not to be trusted.
It is
Yeah, but I mean,
crazy. I was gonna say, like, Cash App can just like eradicate. Like, they're basically they have the same like premise as like we can refuse service to anybody. They shut your account down and tell you to keep it pushing. Probably in the Dr. Umar case, it was more warranted than normal. Just if I was watching what was going on, because he's literally berating his people for Cash Apps, and then when they do donate, he's ungrateful.
He's literally scamming. He's telling people that he's raising money for a school, and he's not. Has anybody just said the quiet part out loud as blatantly as I just said it right now? Ever? Has anybody ever just said it like that? I don't want to hear all that. Oh, he's taken 15 years. Oh, the school is never going to be built. Because I don't want to hear the school is never going to be built. I don't want to hear he's taking 15 years. I want you guys to accept that Dr. Umar was never building a school. All right? Let's step into the real world now, guys. All right? Let's leave the world where Dr. Umar was ever building a school. And let's step into the real world where Dr. Umar has only ever lived in an apartment his whole life. You know, he lives in his apartment and he doesn't do anything but go from his apartment to speaking engagements and to these women's houses that he meets on Instagram.
Dr. Umar is essentially a polite Big U.
Okay. The Big U of Pan-Africanism. The Big U of Pan-Africanism. It's funny they shut both of them down in the same week. Dude, speaking of that, there was something that I written down that I had to say about the Big U thing, dog. Do you know that they've been investigating him for 4 years. We know that now. They said the last federal money that they gave him was on March 14th of this month. Oh my God. Cooked. That should just tell you everything you need to know right there. That should tell you, I mean, absolutely cooked. I can't even cooked. They were giving him money and watching every single inch of where that dollar went. Like, oh, so he spent the money here. He gave that money went from here to here, and now that money's here, dude.
He even acknowledged the fact that he felt he was being watched and still and listened to and continued to hold transactions over the phone. He never, like, this guy never heard of Signal. He never heard of these like encryption apps at all. He just decided to do all his transactions out in the open, even much so that he was going to, there's a video of him at a film set explaining that if you don't check in, there ain't gonna be no filming. Like, he's the city of fucking Los Angeles.
And in his mind, he is, you know, or what was. But anyway, I just like, that was the one thing that I know. I'm like, just if anybody was wondering whether or not this is a cooked turkey, they were giving him federal money as late as March 14th, on purpose, obviously. Like, anyways, go ahead.
This right here, and we can completely leave this after this, because this is what I'm saying. I just want to put this out in the world to let people understand what influences are out there and to watch who you have around. Like, genuinely, I'm being genuine right now. Watch the people you have around you. And I'm not saying this in any way of like, these people have anything to do with what happened to Draco or anything, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm literally just saying it's a crazy coincidence that these people happen to be at the scene of every major incident for the last like 5 years. And we'll let it play, but this blew my fucking mind last night.
It's the same as out here. Nigga know these streets, nigga. Yeah. Nigga can't go nowhere. Niggas ain't finna just be nigga out here, nigga shopping and posting pictures and all that. That's how niggas be in
the money wise and all that extra shit.
Thinking they at these restaurants, thinking they
he's doing it
in
though.
Beverly Hills and all that. Bitch, that shit 10 minutes from the hood, nigga.
Right.
You out your mind and you think you safe over here.
Giving locations and some
none of that shit when I go out of town. Nigga, I don't post no hotels, none of that, nigga. I know better. And the first thing I do, as soon as I get there, I hit niggas that I need some blowers, not security. I need guns, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I'm not stupid.
Pause it.
I ain't never.
Right. Yes.
So you know where this is at, right?
I don't know specifically where it's at now.
Okay, but this is the night he passed, obviously. Right.
This is the night?
Well, I thought that's what you were saying.
Okay. So the context I gave behind it was they're saying, and this is again, I haven't looked into this. These were a couple days prior, so it was within the same week as what happened.
Okay. Go ahead.
Never finna go.
Oh, also, I see a lot of 4 Extra in his mannerisms, and I guess I'm not familiar with these dudes out there at all. So
yeah. So just a quick very, very short summary, I guess, of who he is and what his involvement is with the street life, right? And this is, of course, all alleged. At a certain point, like we talk about in every city, right? There's one big gang, and then the gang starts to break up into 2 sections, 3 sections, and now in LA you have a bunch of Crips that war against each other, right? And you have blood sets that war with other Crip sets, but most of the violence is just Crips on Crips in LA. And so in the midst of all that, right, there are people that join gangs because it's something to do. There are people that join gangs because they want to make money for protection, which is most of the time. Most of the people who join gangs join it for protection if they're in that situation. And then you have 1 or 2 people in every single group that is really about business, right? That was like, give me the gun. Anybody who's really been in these situations know that. There's always like for example, in G Herbo's hood, go watch Trap Lord Ross, and he explains all this, that there's one guy who was the leader of the other side and one real shooter on G Herbo's side. They both got locked up the same week. The streets were silent for weeks after that. Whereas right before that, there were shootings every day. You understand? So there's usually 1 or 2 guys who are like just born to be them guys, right? And then you have the other guys that are joining the gangs for protection. Draco the Ruler, in his own admission, is one of the guys who's just born to be that guy. And so he never joined the gang because in his mind it's all busters. It's all bums. You know what I mean? It's like they're not getting it cracking. They trying to be around me so I can get it cracking. And so he created his own thing that became a pretty famous name that I'm not going to say in LA. There's a name that people throw out there as if they know what they're talking about. And if you ever hear people say it, matter of fact, Top 5 said it to Wack, and Wack got serious with him. Like, he's like, bro, stop, see, because you talk about stuff you don't know about. Because so, like I said, so he's, one of them guys that's like, was born into it, but it's like, I'm doing my own thing. And so he had a group that became as powerful and as known and recognized as some of these blue sets, but he wasn't technically a blue set, but it was all blue guys for the most part. Meaning blue guys from different sets that was with him putting in work. And that's how he made his name in the streets, you know what I mean? And so he's known for being around the real guys who are from different hoods, you know what I mean, who come around him to really kind of put in that work, so, but like I said, this is all alleged. This is in the music and what he, what he says, et cetera, so he's known for being around guys, from different boom, 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 but obviously his demise was because him and the people he was associated with had problems with the Inglewood families, which is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest blood set as far as numbers in LA. And so, no bullshit, it wasn't him, because remember, because he's not technically a Crip, but all of his group, his guys that he run with, is all, you know what I mean? So they're at a party one night, and one of his Crip homies sees one of the Inglewood homies that he got a problem with. Game over for him right then. And so the 2 homies went down, and that's how it turned into a drill rap scene between Draco and the Inglewood families, because they one body because of a personal situation that somebody had, and now him and all the guys who were there are involved, and so now he got beef with the Inglewood families, and so that's so you're right. It's literally he was hanging around guys and he inherited beef, and it got so bad, and he's just so like, I don't give a F, I'm gonna say whatever, that it went where it went, where they like, nigga, they said it was as much as 80 to 100 bloods swarming him and his 6 or 7 people that he's with. 80 to 100, some people say, bro. Anyways, but my bad. I said that's the short version, of course. But it's like it's exactly what you're saying. Where it's like, yeah, he was, around guys that he knew was going to put in work, and as far as everybody knows, allegedly they were putting in work. And like I said, there was no affiliation with him, but he was affiliated with guys who were affiliated, and so that affiliation, like, it's inevitable. That's why. So it's like he could not be a Grape Street or whatever Crip set that he was living in. He cannot be it, but all of his guys are it, and he gonna fight. If they fight, then what is he? So yeah. My bad. I don't know.
No, you're fine, because I was totally removed from his ascendance, and I only caught the tail end, which is his death, of his life, basically, because I'm self-admittedly, I've been in California my whole life. I was never a big California music, even though there's classic California music and timeless music. People like Mac Dre, I guess we don't even have to start naming them off, right? But there's timeless music for sure, but it never was my what I'm seeking. I'm listening to the South. I'm on different timelines. So when this guy comes out and everybody regards him as some kind of almost mythical figure, I'm trying to figure out why that is. And
it's you know what? It's not different than the King Von thing, Whereas, it's the reason why King Von got so much respect in Chicago was because allegedly he's gone now, but the people who were in the streets knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? His homie. Think about it. If you're a gang, right, and you got 10 people, 3 or 4 of them sell drugs, 3 or 4 of them rob people, and maybe 1 or 2 of them is the shooter. That's how that goes. All right. One of them is a hitman. That's his job. The other guys, that's not their job. They have other jobs. And Ice-T talked about this too, where it's he's like I was a Crip. He's like, but I'm the rapper though. You know what I mean? So it's we got entertainment sections. You know what I mean? In our you know what I mean, in our thing. There's the entertainment section, there's a robbing section, the drug dealing section, and then if it gets serious, you got the cleanup crew. And so these cleanup crew guys never used to surface. All right, it's a different day and age. These are guys that have always existed, but King Von was 14 when it started happening. Remember, I told you about Dirk, right? Whether or not Dirk was a cleanup guy or not, the fact that he was involved in that activity, and he's my age, 1992. He couldn't help it. He grew up on the dopamine hit. If I turn this camera on, 100,000 people is gonna be watching me. I'm gonna get 100,000 people watching if I turn the camera on. And so he never not had it on. It was always on. He wake up in the morning. What's up, niggas? I can't even fathom that. You know what I mean? Just. But I didn't get into it as a 14-year-old.
Show yourself.
Literally, Tyson. It's uncanny. I know that it's until now I hadn't done that much research on all because it's I listen to some songs that I like, but I'm not that involved in her personal life. It's as bad as we think it is, Tyson. It's as bad as we think it is. The King Von was actually smarter than Lil Durk. King Von is actually smarter than Lil Durk. He would actually think about how what King Von is doing. Because that's who his job was, right? Lil Durk is on there with academics he's like, if you notice, ain't nobody saying Sly for Von no more.
Definitely not.
Yeah, we're not saying it, Dirk. We know what you did, bro. You know what? And I said I had completely checked out. I was not listening to King Von. I've never even heard a King Von song, right? But I knew who he was because everybody was talking about him. But when he passed away, I didn't know the circumstances around it. I researched it after, completely forgot about it. Then a few months later, I hear Quando Rondo. You know what I mean? He shot up 3 times. I'm like, Dirk is wilding. Think about it. That's my first thought. Dirk is wilding. I don't have to know. It's you're being too obvious, my guy. We know it's you, dude. And Quando Rondo didn't have anything to do with it. I'm sorry. I don't even know why we're talking about it. I hate talking about this stuff, but I just have to somebody needs to vindicate this nigga Quando Rondo, bro. Did you ever hear it?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was My bad. Go ahead.
No, fucking the only person that vindicates him is damn Charleston White. You know, he's the one spreading the good message.
Yep. I'm not gonna do what Charleston White, did and be like, I think I give little Tim the credit he deserves without going overboard with it. Because we're still talking about people's lives, but
yeah,
there needs to be a little Tim award for situational awareness. But listen, if you ever hear Quando Rondo talk about that story, this is I believe this 100% because it's all on camera, right? They didn't actually have a problem, right? Obviously, Von had a problem with Youngboy, and Quando Rondo was Youngboy's man. And everybody knows who Von was and what his personality was. Like I said, what was his role in the game? That's why he's like that, and so think about what type of personality that guy is, So that's why, and he's a smart guy. So he would never be like, he did sometimes kind of go a little overboard, but either way. So Quando Rondo is at a hookah lounge, right? Him and King Von see each other for all of less than two seconds. Like boom, and then King Von takes off on him right away. This is what his recollection of the night is. He's like, it's dark and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, right? Think about it. This is crazy, nigga. This is crazy. He's like, it's dark and shit. It's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't know what the fuck going on. I didn't even recognize who was in front of me. I swear to God, I don't even really know this guy like that. He has a problem with NBA Youngboy, right? But that,
You've only seen him on your phone. He's been only 2 inches ever.
Right. And so the first time I see him in person, I don't recognize him. Listen, this is how he told the story, right? He's like, I guess I see some guy, right? And then the niggas start taking off on me. So I don't even know who's taking off on me, right? I don't know who's taking off on me. And then, of course, boom, 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 boom. And so I'm like, and then, of course, he just gets, probably his homies grab him and they get in the car and drive away. You know what I mean? And so I didn't even know who it was until I saw it on the news the next day. I woke up and I saw on the news, King Von. He's like, that's who that was? That's who was punching me last night? Just imagine that. He's like, dude, he used the word out-of-body experience, obviously, but I'm like, Quando, that's beyond an out-of-body experience. That's the most out-of-body experience a person could ever have, dog. Somebody just starts attacking you before you even know what's going on. Bow, 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 bow. You like, am I stopped? Ah! Get me out of here. And then you don't even know what happened. You don't even know who it was, what was going on, nothing. And then anyways.
That's crazy.
It was inevitable.
Every time I even link with somebody, I'm gonna have to ask if they got any current beefs going on, because it just seems like anybody you're around could be a potential like Sauce Walker. We don't gotta, but it's just like all these dudes just be getting tagged and people next to them, and you don't even know who is looking for him. There's no way to fucking track this down.
Right. And Dirk put it in his song. Dirk put it in his songs that he has $1 million on Quando Rondo's head now after that situation. On Quando's head, right? On Quando's head. Your man violated. And like I said, Dirk is 1992. So you think about it, he's right in it could have went one way or another. It's like, that's who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's who he is now. Like, Dirk, you're getting a lot of money, dog. You just did a song with Drake. You know what I mean? Your man who, listen, F Trap Lord Ross, but your man who is known for catching double-digit bodies, constantly eats cereal when he's doing interviews because he's, in his mind, he's a decorated soldier, which is fine. I defend that to a certain degree, right? To a certain degree. Now, it's not right, but I defend, you know what I mean, the mindset, because, like I say, we're talking about a guy who's 14 born into a situation, But for you to be getting this much money now, and then your man who is known for that violates somebody, and they just didn't let it happen to him. So it's just like, in your mind, I was supposed to be gone then, right? In your mind, that's the only option. That's all you'll accept then. There is no peacemaking. There is no, think about it, because like I didn't do nothing to the nigga. He attacked me, and then my man defended me. And now you're so mad that, so you're, in your mind, it can only end with one of us gone. You see what type of position you put me in? You see what? That's why Quando like, listen, dog. Look, F the Rolling 60s. I'm not a Crip no more, bro. He's like, listen, that's it. And Rolling 60s came out like, oh, that's weak. He's like, I'm weak. F that, nigga. I didn't ask for this shit. Nigga gonna come in and body me, and now I can't even go out. All of his shows got canceled for months after that. He couldn't do no shows because Lil Durk was buying the tickets, doing the 50 Cent thing. Buying the tickets, dog. So he couldn't even do a show. The very first time he stepped out, they came and got him. This nigga lost his cousin. And one of his producers got hit up, and his producer's engineer died. He lost like 3 people after that shit happened. These niggas trying to come get him. His cousin. And niggas want to clown him, you feel me, for breaking down when his cousin's body's getting dragged out the car. Because he got beat up. And he didn't die. That's the mistake he made, Tyson. He didn't die. That's why I'm like, bro, look, y'all gotta leave Quando alone, man. I'm like, that's not right, dog. That's not right. Y'all put him in a crazy position. No,
it's I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine just like not the whole. I never understood that he basically got ambushed. Like he had no fucking chance.
0 chance. Well, and that's how I'm like, when he asked in it that he didn't even recognize a nigga until the next day on the news, you're like, dude, this is wow, that's crazy. I mean, but again, you guys don't have to bring justice on people, all right? People are gonna get what it is that they put out in the world. That's why I just don't give it no mind. Like, people are like, oh yeah, King Von's the real deal. He's this and the third. I'm like, I hope not. I certainly hope not, because look, Little Tim, the greatest tweet of all time. All you Chicago N-words, relax, talking about putting hands on Quando. Thank you. That I said it. That's it. This is Atlanta. This is not Chicago, okay, sir? I get it. Y'all top dogs in your area, all right? Be top dogs in your area. Do not come to Atlanta with that nonsense. And they did. Durk, actually, before that, him and Durk is on camera busting out the car, with no mask on. So either way, I don't know how we got into that, but well, I mean, just to get back to what you were saying about Draco, though, it is about the watcher you have around you, because Durk hadn't made it out until he started messing with Von again. And although having Von in his team gave him that extra boost, because he was talented musically and he's obviously a personality. Look at where it's almost like he could not, because you got that one guy around you. It could be one guy that influences everybody to do something they're not supposed to be doing.
Finna go nowhere and think shit sweet, nigga, 'cause I'm out of town, nigga. Man, they praying on shit like that.
Man, come on, man. They praying for your comfort,
As soon as you think you smooth, oh yeah, walking on the beach. That's the same way. That's like us niggas walking on Melrose or something. Nigga. You like, oh nigga,
look at the stars.
Nigga, I know better than that, nigga. I was in Miami, I ain't fucking nothing.
Miami ain't playing with you. They ain't playing with you.
And they got Haitian there. They don't got no conscience,
they go right back home.
Way on the side.
Check in for 45 days, come right back.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
And it'd be a whole new person.
Look, the name of that group that I said I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean, that he's known for being, the top of guys that, these are. Remember, I told you top 5 for me was trolling Wack with that. Like, oh, Wack, I'll call these people on you, cause, right? And remember, I told you who Drake used to mess with when he was in LA, right? Who he has a song with. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Drake was messing with, right? And so you see those connections where you're like, look, anyways, connect the dots yourselves, right? Connect the dots yourselves. I can't do this on
Speaking on that, I be telling Aunt, like, because he got to go back to his old ways, because that out of tenors is winning.
I'm talking about nigga, I was a fan of these niggas.
Look,
I see niggas
tricking, super tricking.
Homie,
right. Jumping out, I seen a nigga bumping. Nigga bump into the nigga, then the nigga like, hey, bro, nigga jump.
I feel like almost I feel like this last week has been when on Scooby-Doo when all the kids are running around and then they eventually they get the gusto to turn around and pull the mask off the monster and figure out who's been, terrorizing them the whole episode.
The mask just got pulled off.
Yeah,
and it was Big U the whole time.
It apparently was fucking Big U. And those darn kids got, one of them.
Right. He would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that darn Trap Lord Ross. And it wasn't Trap Lord Ross this time. I'm just blaming Trap Lord Ross for everything this week.
It is pretty crazy. I did, because I was cutting the video earlier, I was going through his track list of, his videos, just taking screenshots. And it was like, this person murdered this person. These 6 people died here. This person's a serial killer. I'm like, I couldn't even imagine. Like you said, how is this person a fan?
How? And you saw those people comment on that video. They're like, this is the dumbest take ever. I'm like, this is the greatest take ever. I'm like, you can't be from America talking like that. Nobody from America, and Ack is from Jamaica, all right? Nobody from America thinks that I'm going to take the people that I'm a fan of and blow up the things that are probably going to get them arrested. I'm just saying, you guys aren't from here, or you don't like those people and you're not slick.
I think it's
that
people
shit is crazy, though.
I don't want to presuppose, right? But it just seems like anybody that really hasn't had like true hardship, like would feel more inclined to use that as some form of like entertainment. Because I feel like if you've ever had something really terrible happen in your life, you wouldn't find joy out of talking about death.
Yeah, because it brings up bad memories when you talk about it, right? If you guys are like, with the Young and Ace thing, that song. Even though I have no idea, even still to this day, I have no idea whether or not that song is real or if he was talking about somebody else's experience, right? Young and Ace could have clearly been, I'm writing this song from my homie's point of view, or I'm writing the song from my dad's point of view. We have no idea that just because he wrote it. But when I heard it, I'm like, because if this was my homie, I know how I feel. Right now, I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? If this is my homie, I'll be outside your house. You know what I mean? I would, if you was making a song like this. And if I ever heard anybody singing it, I would be punching people left and right. Like I would be in jail because I would be punching people if it was somebody that I cared about and they're just playing the song as a joke, nigga. Oh yeah? What? It would happen. It would happen for sure. So that's why it's like those memories come back up for me of shit happening in my family. And so I can relate to it. But like you said, if you don't have any memories like that, then you're numb to it. There's nothing there for you to even connect it to.
I think we're in need of a palate cleanser. So I want to pose a question because I get this a lot. I'm a tall motherfucker and people constantly, every single time they fucking see me, anywhere I'm at, I get asked the same question.
Do you play basketball?
Do you play basketball or how tall are you? Right. And for a while I used to be like, I'm gonna write on my shirt or whatever. It got fucking annoying. Right. But there is this thing in society where once you gain a certain level of tallness, and especially if your stature is big, you should be in the NFL, NBA, you should be doing some sort of professional sports. And that's like 0.05 fucking percent of the population. But for whatever reason, people seem to, attribute to that. If you hit 6'5", you're supposed to be some kind of God level athlete, whatever. So regardless, this fucking video popped on my timeline and I find it to be ridiculous, but people got to eat somehow. And apparently this is the economy we've created. So, we can judge for ourselves whether or not this is valid use of his time and God-given abilities.
So what the fuck is this tall ass man doing? Cause this nigga like 7 foot. Bruh, god damn.
I seen this. This nigga's sick.
Bro, hell no. This tall ass goof ass nigga. Bruh, ain't no fucking way this man doing this shit. This man is really...
Okay, I don't follow the TikTok dance trend, so I don't know if that's a TikTok trend or if he's just shooting a dumb music video. Is he shooting the worst music video of all time, or is that I don't know.
He's
That's
definitely
wild.
He's definitely shaming his ancestors. That's for fucking certain. Could you imagine all the heartache and
Can I
suffering?
imagine you doing that? No, I
Oh
cannot.
no, fuck no. I don't even know if somebody had a gun to me and they're like, dance. I'm like, dog, you just gonna have to shoot me, man. I can't like dancing is sacred to me. I'm like, I do that in the privacy of my home. Like, I would never ever put that out for the world to see. And I think we had a discussion about this a couple weeks ago where it's like, I don't think your hips as a man should be that mobile. I don't care how much of an athlete you are. You should never be able to move in a circular motion fluidly.
You got to lead with the knees and the elbows. You know, you can't be leading with the hips.
Yeah, you should have like stick figure, rigid type of, body movements as a man. Just my opinion, but either way, this was a ridiculous thing to do. I think if I feel like he should be in the NBA. If this was like the alternative to that, like he should have tried harder to play basketball.
Yeah, or at least get buff and fat so he could be the dancing ape. You know, you trying to do a skinny dancing ape thing. This is the worst Ashton Hall remake I've ever seen.
I just don't understand how the progression of like humanity ended up being like dancing, because it's always been like dancing has always been a coveted like skill. I guess it's always been regarded highly as an art, but it's never been like, this is a different level of art. This is where the joke is turned inside on itself, and people are now, you are the jester.
Yeah, well,
America.
Right. I'll throw a monkey wrench into this one. You know, I always maintain that certain things have intrinsic value, and they try to create importance in society on things that are minuscule, so we don't focus on something that may be important, maybe for some dumb reason, but it's just it's not physically visible. Similar to music, right? Like think about it, like without society at all, there's still music and there's still some kind of value in music. And like it's like there's a form of communication that happens that maybe is not in our frontal lobe that we are participating in when we listen or create or make music, whatever. And I think this is the same thing with dancing. Of course, we know that some animals do like mating dances, and stuff like that. So it's a way. So it's a way to communicate sexually. We know that for sure. For women, twerking and all that. But yeah, maybe because in the beginning of society you have dancing, then you have accountants and lawyers and kings and queens, and then when we evolve all the way, for some reason, all everybody wants to do is dance. For some reason, they all just want to do TikTok dances. I don't get it. Maybe there's some higher form of intelligence that's going on or communication in the world of dancing that we are not picking up on because it's not our area of study. Who knows?
I'd like to think it's like some sort of like response to the fact that we don't get enough stimuli and exercise on a daily basis. So we're trying to figure out like different ways to get that energy out. So like autistic wiggling was the only way we could figure that out, apparently, without like, you can't go on a jog. I started running lately and I just even feel weird running down the street. Like people are going to call the cops on me. Because Hilarious. It's just like you just can't trust people moving swiftly. I don't trust it. If somebody's moving fast around me, dog, I seen a little white girl like walking to her car like 60 paces away. I started to slow down because I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be sprinting at this little white girl at like 8:30 in the morning. I'm gonna give her a heart attack.
I do that all the time when I'm running as well, and walking for that guy's dang matter. You guys are so weird on the street. That's the most annoying thing ever. I'll be walking, minding my business. I see some ugly bag of bones, looking at me like, oh, let me go. Like, bitch, are you serious? I would never allow somebody like you to touch me. Get away. Yes, please divert. Get away from me. You get away from me.
Did you happen to catch everybody talking about the pyramids and they're this apparently there was a study that dropped a couple years ago from this research team that indicated that they had found some extra underground structures underneath the pyramids, and now because of AI and their ability to transform the data, they believe that there's these big spherical structures that are below the pyramid now instead, and they're ginormous. Like these AI renderings that I keep seeing on because these are AI photos,
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Let's see. How can I say this without sounding pretentious? Listen, as far as we know, right? As far as we know, the pyramids all around the world and all the broken, elaborate structures that were made in a time when we apparently had less technology than we have now, they're pretty much all at some point structurally sound to large electrical devices, generators, cathodes, etc. So the pyramid is no exception. Now, does it look like that? I don't know. Like you said, is it AI rendering? Now, there are tons of
allowed us to construct a
right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, there are
what
tons
you said though, it reminds me of a structure of a battery or a motherboard or one of like a bunch of capacitors sitting on a plate.
Literally, that's literally what not just that is, but it's one small little circuit board, right, in the middle of a huge motherboard that has all these different circuits working together for one region or another. So every major city in America, in Sweden, in Canada, all around the world, were all designed in this exact same format with the exact same structures in in the structure of a motherboard or a circuit board. Every single one of them, and they all fit within a certain floric design, which is ironically matches right onto our energetic magnetic field. So we can take readings and we know what shape our magnetic field takes. So all of these structures are built within, the shape of what our magnetic field does. So they're obviously using geometry and chemistry to tap into the natural energy that exists in the universe. It's not very complicated once you understand all the parameters, but when you spend years and years and years taking all the textbooks and making everybody dumb, then it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's really
Doesn't that look exactly like a field of transformers? Like when I look at
absolutely.
that, I've seen that 1,000 times.
It looks like almost every electrical coil that we use for one reason or another in these different electricals. It's like I don't want to say it's all coils, but like I say, it's geometry. It's not that deep. It's geometry, and then of course physics and chemistry. With metal. So certain metals will have certain reactions, which is just magnetics. So I've done a lot of streams on this. I'm not saying that I know what the pyramid for sure is, but I'm telling you right now, I can guarantee you that you can look at it and all the structures around it and say, oh wow, it's designed exactly like a circuit board. So there's no question in my mind it has something to do with harvesting energy from below, above, and horizontally from the earth.
This is my question, I guess, with it is not like, does it exist or anything? Like, what does it look like? My question is like, do you think they're going to actually start fucking digging, or are they just going to talk about it, release the paper, and then we're going to have this?
They're hoping that's going to be enough to shut everybody up. That's what they're hoping. The same thing they do with space. Listen, the same thing they do with space, right? I know you guys aren't going to like this, but are they ever going to show you any real pictures of space? This is what you guys don't realize. Nobody does any research on anything. There's not one real, actual picture from space. Ha. But listen, I'm not going to say they're not up there. I'm not going to say that. But are they ever going to show us anything real? Are they ever gonna, probably not. They're okay with the $53 million a day that they get paid. So if we can just keep the money coming for as long as we can, before they actually have to, before the jig is up, they're not doing anything that they say they're doing with your money, okay? No, they're just saying that they did it because you're not going to go check. You have to go to work tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying.
And get your ass to the job site.
It's fucked up. Everything that I always wanted to learn is you just find out it's like all like when you're a kid, like your idea of like society is like I would love to be Indiana Jones. I would love to be running around just causing chaos in different countries, running around, finding the Ark of the Covenant, fighting Nazis, all these fun stuff. Shia LaBeouf's your child. But for whatever reason, you find out like in actuality, it kind of is Indiana Jones, where there's a lot of death and like, the people don't want you to know what is going on.
They want to live out the Indiana Jones while you guys are the NPCs. That's what they want. They don't want you guys. Listen, what's that movie with the glasses and Ryan Reynolds? Free guy. It's just like Free Guy, all right? They don't want you to put the glasses on. They want you to keep the glasses off, so you have to go to work and everything looks dull. But in real life, yeah, like the world is just exactly what it was. It's always been what it is. They just convince you in your mind that it's something different. And so you create a different world for yourself. You have to go to work and you have to do this and that and the third. And if you don't do that, that's not meaningful, right? If you don't do that, that's not meaningful. But if you have a group of guys that you love and you guys have, a feud with another group of guys and one of your best friends dies and you go avenge him, that's not meaningful. You see, like, think about it. Two different worlds. If you're watching a movie, which movie are we going to watch? The one where you go to work and sit down all day? Or do we watch the movie where a guy has a friend that he has to avenge? What life do you want to live? I'm not saying that I condone violence or anything like that. I'm just saying between your life and their life, no offense to you guys, but I would much rather be somebody that dies standing up than sitting down in a cubicle.
That's a fair point.
There's a story of a lady that was dead for 5 days at her job.
Can you imagine how fucking boring that lady was? Nobody went to go check on her.
Nobody ever wanted to talk to her. And that's why she had that job for so long. Because that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
In the movie Office Space, they wouldn't fire this fucking guy, but they just kept moving his desk like farther and farther into the basement and giving him less and less work. So eventually he'd show up and not be doing anything really. He'd be there, but he's like in the fucking back. Just, I assume that's exactly what they did to this lady. Like, please just put her as far away from the general populace as possible.
And that movie was the prequel to Idiocracy. In the beginning of Idiocracy, you have that guy, now played by Owen Wilson, waking up in the corners of the military. Anyways. All right, so
I was gonna say I've been running through my topics. I don't know if there's anything very specific that you wanted to talk about.
Let's see. I already said the Pakistani lady is a DEI economic hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Although it seemed like we were ending early, we did kind of go through most of that stuff from the Adam podcast.
No,
Charleston White is a hoe. People hate Andrew Tate but love Dana White. Why did I write that down? I don't know, but it's hilarious. I mean,
probably because of the smacking incident.
Right. Yeah, when I saw Andrew Tate hanging out with Dana White, I was like, good. That's what I would do too. I would be right off to Vegas. I'd be like, Dana, shield me, please. I'm like, Dana can do whatever he wants. Dana gets to do whatever he wants. That was wild.
You know what's crazy is he smacked his woman and then made a whole company about it. He made a whole business around it.
Was that promo? Was that a promo?
That was like
Is
the
Dana White
album release party.
Is he's doing the troll thing? He's learning from Kanye. He's like, all right, I gotta do a stunt to promote my slap league. So I'll slap the shit out of my wife.
Cause he cocked back and gave her one like for no fucking reason. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Not for no reason. Yeah, not for no reason. Yeah. I'm not saying she did or did not deserve it, but she definitely.
I don't have
him
the
right before that.
knowledge.
No, they were in the club on like New Year's Eve or something like that, and chilling and drinking, and he was doing something, not giving her attention, and she smacked him, and he turned and like, I don't know what she was thinking. That's what I'm like. I'm not saying she did or did not deserve it. I'm not gonna go that far to say either one. But yeah, that was craziness. He was out of line like a motherfucker. He was completely out of line. And the only reason why he's not in jail because of it is because he's Dana White. Anybody else would be in jail, even if we saw the man get smacked first. You guys are so misogynistic and you hate men so much, you would still want to see him in jail.
I got smacked one time in middle school.
Hey, and me too. My bad. And me too. I hate niggas. I don't want to see him in jail, but hey, I hate niggas. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I got smacked one time in middle school by this girl. It was like 7th grade, I think. And I don't even know why. To this day, I don't like. I'd done stuff to people in school. I didn't do anything to this girl, so I don't really know why she smacked me. I would be like first one to tell you I did some crazy shit to people, but never that. And regardless, I just took the slap and just like took the embarrassment, and it was like done. Like it never really was a thing, Like I didn't have to like think about like some kind of maniacal plan or like put hands on her back. It was just kind of over because it was just like crashing out wasn't even like a popular thing back then. Like the idea of just crashing out and
there was no money in it. There's no money in it.
Yeah, that's true. Like the iPhone definitely incentivizes you to throw your life away at a whim for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of stuff, like I said, written down here, but just like to pick out the best ones. Okay, so I think that I might start a segment just to feed my own narcissism. Like the Who Went Ross Award, or like the Ross Weekly Award. This is an award when people finally say what the fuck they want to say to people. You know what I mean? When you just say whatever, what you really want to say, blah. That's like, you know what I mean? Because every now and then I see people like, I'm like, see, that's what I would have did. That's what I've been telling people. And two people went full Ross this week. Number one, UMG went full Ross on Drake. Did you see that? They literally said exactly what I said I would say in court. Did you read the rebuttal? The rebuttal, like you don't have to read it. Just go watch when we talked about it. Go watch when we talked about it. Watch what I said I would say if I was UMG, word for word. They're like, in this lyric, Drake begs him to drop, and then right here he makes fun of Kendrick's. I thought that was a good line, Drake. And then right here, they went full Ross. And then the last episode of Drewski's love thing. Drewski is all about the content. Let's just put it like that. You know exactly how it ended. You don't have to watch it to know who he picked, okay?
I
just
did
know that.
I did see the clip because the girl jumped on him and broke the damn chair.
The one he didn't pick though, woo! The one he didn't pick is the one. Oh my God. Ratchet as hell, right? Ratchet as hell, don't get me wrong. Of course. But she's like New York. It's like you could see what Flav liked in New York in this other chick, right? Where she was just like, I'm willing to do whatever for the thing. You know what I mean? She looks good. She knows how to pretend to be classy a little bit. You know what I mean? And this bitch was beating all the other bitches up. The skinniest one. Like she looked like skinny, nice and frail. And when it came time, she was like, "What's up?" It's like one of them. I would have chose her just for the mere fact that she beat the other one up. I'm like, listen, I would have picked you, but when y'all fought, she won. So it's all I gotta be her over you. You know what I mean? She put the hands on you. So that's what I'm like. As ugly and big as the other one looked, the pretty one that lost was putting hands on everybody. I'm like, oh yeah. This is what Flav liked about New York. It's like it's like I could make her a fucking star. You know what I mean? Like facts. I could make her a star. A star. Because she looked good, and you could tell that she was ready to go, and she had them hands. I'm like, oh yeah. I need you next to me beating bitches up when I talk crazy to them. I need to walk around with you and talk crazy to women and be like, hey, look.
That's exactly what Blueface thought he had in Krishan, but he misjudged it completely. He didn't realize the true beast he had next to him.
None of us realized it. After finding out more about her family, we now see why. There was no way in hell. Like it seemed too good to be true. Based on how she was acting, it was Blueface. It was too good to be true. All right. And I've been in that situation, Blueface. Blue, you don't think I've been in that situation? Every RN has been in that situation. What percentage of people on the planet have some form of mental disability? What percentage? It got to be more than 1%, right? Got to be more than 1. I'm willing to wager it's in the 30s and 40s now. But to be modest, I'll say 5%, right? 5% of people or women. 5% of people. That means if you've had sex with 100 women, best believe 5 of them hoes. Oh yeah. And if you had sex with 200, that's 10. You got 10 bodies that if you would have popped the baby out, there's a 50-50 chance that you would have had to. That baby would have played for the Green Bay Packers at 5.
Okay, we're gonna do a thought experiment, kind of in the similar vein. We have do you know who Zoe Spencer is? I'm not too familiar with her. I see her pop up on my timeline a lot. All these streamers just kind of like, they're very microwavable. They appear and then they disappear with the quickness.
Right.
But she's been around Kai Cenat, everybody, all these people, and this just came on my timeline. Basically, she met her biggest Twitch gifter, and this is how.
This is a good video. Yeah, go ahead.
This is kind of how the interaction went.
I'll be throwing that ass on you. Get the fuck from back, nigga. I'll be throwing that ass on you. Let me throw it this way, Johnny.
You gonna do me like that?
Then nigga,
after all that money I spent, you gonna do me like that?
Wait, are you?
After all that money I spent, you gonna do me like that?
I can't watch.
I never watched this. Is this scripted?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
This is
somebody let us know. Is it scripted? It's hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch.
Is this for like who's the demo? Like I would love to be in the middle of their YouTube studio or whatever. Like see the analytics. Like who is actually digesting this type of content? Because this to me is. You remember when they had the Elsa Gate for the kids on YouTube, and they were like trying to say that they were brainwashing the children by using like hypnotic kids videos, and they would like take Spider-Man. Regardless, this to me is more detrimental to whoever's watching it than any type of like pre-programmed scripted content. This is,
he's definitely setting men back. He's setting black men back. He's setting everybody back. And speaking of setting black men back, I got another one after this. Go ahead. Let's try to finish this. Jesus.
Wait, are you wizard for my chat?
After all that money I spent, that's how you gonna treat me?
He's a bum. That's not him. Right?
That's all that money I spent, that's how you gonna treat me,
You
man?
didn't spend anything on. Stop.
Nigga, girl, you know what? Go ahead. Go shine, nigga.
Yeah.
Go shine, nigga. Shine.
Pause it. I believe it's real because of that. Because I don't think anybody could write that. But that's like, who would come up with that in their head and put it down? Nobody. That's the spontaneous action of somebody that has nothing to say or do. Why would you ever take a hat off your nasty, sweaty, dirty head?
There's no fucking way.
Put it on the head of a chick that just says she don't like you. So now you put your nasty, filthy hat on her head. That's gross.
This is visually just like it makes me it gives me like shivers down my fucking spine. Why, like even thinking about having an interaction with somebody like this, this is exactly like when you read the word like SA in a document, or somebody claims they were assaulted. You're like,
and it's a weird. Right? It's like there are a lot of stuff that people will call SA that doesn't seem like it, right? This is one of the ones that, even though it don't seem like it, it's still SA. Okay, yeah, that's sexual. That's
She's
sexual
in a corner
somehow.
being molested by his sweaty hat. This is textbook. Like, please get the fuck. She has no way to defend herself. I'm definitely.
My bad, girl.
I think this is a rare occasion. I feel like I'm gaining feminism points or some kind of knowledge in that where you're catching me defending this lady.
Facts. Listen, I'm a fair guy, okay, and I give it up all the time when I see people doing the weird stuff. I'm the main one saying that you have to stop chasing these women. You have to stop even giving them attention. Stop looking at them. Stop looking at them. That's right. Y'all making it weird for everybody. I can't even look at a chick and say, "Oh, I like that hat," and be genuine, because you guys want to be staring bitches down like all up in. I saw there's a really creepy video of some Asian model getting stared down like that. It was just like, oh, dude, you guys are making it weird for people who just want to be cool. Now, when I'm out in public, I can't even look at women now, because I don't want them to even confuse me for people like you. For real. I am on their side in a lot of issues. And a big part of that too is because it happens to me as well. As a man, there are women now in society that think that they get to just come up to me and just grab my dick and grab, women do that when they get to just touch you and whatever it may be, rub on my head. Oh, hell no.
Touching people without consent is one of those things. Yeah.
It's a wrap. Listen, it's a wrap. Okay. You can't do that. All right. That's not. Yeah.
I think where her face stopped on that screenshot is like enough of a, it's like a picture says 1,000 words. It's like,
listen, I have been in situations where women have asked me why I have not been as eager to accept what they were trying to give to me at the moment. And they were, a little bit upset about it. And you know why? Because I did not know them like that. No, I didn't know them like that. I had no idea how they were going to act after, right? If they were going to change their mind about consent after. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that good looking where I'm making you so horny right now that you're not really giving consent. This is dumb shit that y'all be saying. Obviously, I made the horny part up as a joke, but y'all really say that. Well, I was scared. I didn't know what he was going to do. And so I just said yes. All right, fine. Well, just in case I'm so good looking or so scary that you're horny, no. Now, no. If you wake up in the morning, you still want it, then all right. But right now, hell no. Go to sleep. Matter of fact, rub my shoulder. Well, I got a crick in my neck right there. Right there in my neck. Yeah, rub my neck as I go to sleep, please. Put $1,000 on it that I can't confirm for 100% that I said that to multiple people. Multiple. Like, nope, you can rub my neck while I go to sleep, though. Talk to me in the morning. That's right. Y'all wilding. So now I got to go overboard. But I get it, though. A little bit. There are some women that take it overboard, but look at this. I digress. We're not feminists here. All right? But y'all making it weird for us.
Speaking of feminists, France wants the Statue of Liberty back. I can't figure out why.
Hey, look, man. Look, French people, I'm trying to stall y'all out, all right? Candace Owens is doing a number on you right now. You know what I mean? She's doing a number on your entire population. Did you actually happen to catch a Story Wars this week?
No, I didn't.
Well,
seems like they're gaining some traction.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, like I said from the beginning, it's a good show. But who was it on there this week? Naeem Ali. Yeah, this nigga Naeem set black people back about 10 years with this story that he told.
Do you know where it was in the episode? I'm
gonna pull it. Yeah, so it's story number 2. So it's at 20 minutes exactly at 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I heard this story right instantly. As soon as I heard the story, first thing I thought, I was like, not Naeem. I said, this is not Naeem. No, hell no, it can't be him. because this is not no, hell no. As a black person, nigga, this better never be your story. And sure enough, it's his. I'm spoiling it, but the point, I want y'all to hear this nasty ass story. This is the worst story I've ever heard, I think.
Crowd health. I guess they got to get it however they can. I'm glad they're getting sponsors. But sometimes I watch their ad reads on Skank. Sometimes I'm like, do the people that they're selling these ads to, do they have any fucking idea that the show they're on? Because like the ads...
this is one of my favorite subjects, actually, because them and Tim Dillon have a very similar thing where they struggle to get the people who are advertisers to buy into what they're doing. Because, and smart, rightfully so, Tim knows that if you allow me to make all of my ad reads bits, then it'll be better for you, because then people won't fast forward it. But if they know that it's just an ad read, then they're going to fast forward, they won't hear it. But if they think they're going to miss a bit, then that's how you get people to watch the ad reads more. And so they behind the scenes, they struggle with that a lot, where they're like, listen, I know you want us to just do the regular ad reads, but it won't work. And so either way, so sometimes they just go on a limb and say, look, they're not going to like it, but we're going to make fun of them. And they're either going to leave or they'll like what we do because they're actually going to see some results from us doing the ad reads in our comedic way, So this is actually a bitter point of contention behind the scenes as it relates to a lot of comedy podcasts and advertisers right now.
Oh, my bad.
All right, so this is a nasty
story number 2.
Sledgehammer.
Story number 2. A girl I was having sex with had a huge booger in her nose. She leaned down and kissed me, and I looked up and the booger was gone. Then...
All right, right away.
I'm like, not Naeem. I say, nope, not Naeem. This is not a grown black person story. Fuck no. Hell. Did you just hear that? Go ahead.
Look, I want to point out, look at how everybody is looking down at the table except for Naeem.
Except for Naeem. He's like, I
wonder who this could be.
Hey,
he's reliving it. He's reliving it.
Yeah.
He's looking up into the booger again, trying
to... That's good body. That's good body language jargon right there. You can really like this. How I be trying to figure out whose story it is too. Well, this shit caught me completely off guard, because I'm like, dude, I've never met anybody with this story. Never. I've never even heard anything like this. It's so simple, but it's disgusting.
Even Rich Voss he did crack. He's trying to figure out how this could be a fucking possibility.
Right. Like, what did you just say? Anyways, go ahead.
Then I licked my lips and realized it was in my mouth.
Bro.
I think Berg figured it out right away.
Oh, no. They all figured it out, which made me so much madder. It made me so much more mad. Because they're like, listen, it's not a racial thing, I promise, but I feel like this is Naeem. I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, no, hell. I'm like, no. Hell. And granted, Naeem started having sex really early. So he said this happened when he was like 13 or 14. He literally lost his virginity when he was like 12 or something like that. So that's the only way this story can make sense. He's like, this is why kids shouldn't be having sex, because it was like a 14-year-old girl. I was 13 or something like that. I think he said he was 12 and the girl was 14. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's the only thing that excuses it. But I'm like, bro, you just set us back 100 years with this. You just set us back 100 years. You put out a story of two black people having nasty ape sex and boogers just flying everywhere. And I don't know. Look, I'm telling you what it sounds like. So you are laying it up at the rim. And so I guess from a comedy standpoint, it's the right story. You know what I mean? But god damn, I was like, dude, this nigga Naeem's just set us all the way back with this one, dog. That's crazy.
What is their end goal with this show? Do you think they're like I guess Diddy's gone, but do you think they were gonna do like a Masked Singer type of thing where they eventually get to NBC and like Nick Cannon hosts, and then Big J,
And then they got to like figure out whose story is which or who's. You know what? I personally think that that's obviously their goal. Right away when I saw this, my first thought was this is an easy board game. And I think they if they're smart, they've already patented and getting it ready. But I'm like, oh, this is an easy board game. All you have to do is like get some notes, some like, hey, I'm gonna sell a sticky pad. I'm gonna sell a sticky pad with a 1 sheet of instructions and some quarter length pencils, and call it Story Wars, new board game. If I was Lewis, I would be working on that right now. Absolutely.
A Story Wars app.
Right. I guess that is how they do these type of board games now, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like so it could be an app or a board, something like that is I think the highest potential for something like this. It if they keep it going, I don't think it'll work with them though. Like I'm this is my favorite show comedically and one of my favorite group of people to watch, but I don't think that Lewis and Jay are successful faces. Let's be real. They're Jay can only go so long without talking about corn. Lewis can only go so long without, you know what I mean? It's like they have, unsuccessful Tourette's. They have self-sabotaging Tourette's. I think that's the perfect way to say it. They have self-sabotaging Tourette's. And so while this is the perfect idea, I'm like, listen, I'm going to steal this from them. I'm going to steal it because if they don't make it big, somebody should. Because yes, this is a game, like a TV, a talk show type of game that if Steve Harvey was hosting or something like that, I could watch every week. You know what I mean? To have different, people, interesting people on there to give, like, there's a premise that gives you context to want to watch. All right, I digress.
A interdimensional cable variation of Story Wars in which it's like Family Feud instead of like regular celebrities. It's two families, and you're just like Steve Harvey's just hearing the secrets of the family. Oh Lord!
Today on Story Wars, a piece of toast. Nar. Anyways, look, I definitely see it go. I mean, we don't have to watch anymore. I just wanted to get the story out because I'm like, if you, I know any. Well, I'm making a ratio. F it. Any black person that heard that instantly was like, well, it's one of the white guys, obviously. Like, what the fuck? You can be having sex with a chick with a booger in her nose? It's the group of people that don't use washcloths. Okay? It's not the people who, anyways. And mind you, I don't use washcloths every day, all right? If you use washcloths every day, you nasty too. All right, that's disgusting. You don't need a washcloth every day, especially not the same one. You nasty motherfuckers is out there using the same washcloths every day. I know you are. You literally put soap on it, wash the dirt off on your body, wash your asshole, hopefully, get shit and dick cheese on it, and then rinse it out and hang the motherfucker up like the shit and dick cheese just evaporates away. Y'all are disgusting for that. Absolutely disgusting. And I know you do it too. Somebody out there listening, you do that. And you're nasty. You need to stop.
A wet washcloth just hanging on the rod to me is like, I don't know. What was funny is there was this movie that I watched and it was fine. It was whatever. And I'm so glad I don't even remember the name. So I can't even suggest people to not watch it. I remember the actor that was in it. Long story short, they had this scene and it was so grotesque. And it was probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think anybody that basically they had the dude like drinking bath water. Like the remnants of the bottom of a shower, had his face on the ground. And it hurt my soul. Even right now, I can feel it coursing through my body thinking about it because the dude had to actually do it. And the actor that did it is a creepo. Every time I see this guy, he looks fucking weird.
He's doing some nasty shit.
He's always like lurking in the background somewhere.
Steve Buscemi face ass.
The whole premise of the movie, this kid was like this poor guy. He was a poor guy, and he ended up like going meeting this guy at college, and now he gets to hang out with these super rich people. Yeah, and he's got this weird fixation with the whole family, and he's like mimed his way into these people's lives. It was a creepy movie, man. All I'm saying is they made making films way too accessible.
It sounds like ever so talented Mr. Ripley.
It was in that vein for sure, and I'm glad you said the name because I wanted to reference it, but then like I stopped immediately because I couldn't place it. But it was essentially that with like a weird gay twist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and not as flattering. And after that bath scene, I was like, this is the worst thing ever created by man. And
now, just think about this. Can you ever imagine any of those stories in any black family you ever met? A story about somebody wanting to be a part of another family so much that they actually take out the other person and pretend to be them. Could you even write that? Could you even come up with something like that?
We've barely like figured out the fundamentals of like the worst type of crimes. There's no way we could figure out like very sophisticated, intricate, elaborate plans. Like you saw what happened in Black Ocean's 11. Everybody fucking died. Takers. Everybody died. Right. This is the worst movie. People used to always tell me like, Takers, man, you got to watch that shit. And I watched it. And I'm like,
this is tragic.
This is a fucking horrific scene. Everybody died. Like, and nobody got the money. I'm like, this is, why would this be something that I'd want to aspire to have in my life?
They all wish, they all want to be Chris Brown and Michael Ealy in that last scene. They just want to be Chris Brown and Michael Ealy going out in a blaze of glory.
Has Chris Brown ever made it through a movie?
This Christmas, I think. Did he get shot in this Christmas?
No, I don't think so.
That's the only one. It took a Christmas movie to keep Chris in it the whole time.
That is brutal, man. Like I'll never forget. Not You Got Served, but Stomp the Yard. They just murked him in the first like. He's a good actor. He's a good dancer. It just didn't even make sense not to have him in the rest of the film. But I guess it might take people out of the immersion if you're looking at Chris Brown the whole time. Did you send me the stuff with the on the JBP, the fucking Mentalist and Ice, or did I see it and you texted me about it?
Oh well, I may have asked you if you saw it. I don't think I actually sent it to you though.
That was hilarious. They were all super shocked that the Mentalist knew. I was like, if you just read his Twitter he probably just follows him. He's been talking about Chris Brown for 10 years.
Yeah. So that okay, yeah. So let's go into this, right? Because this is something that I'm alluding to constantly when we're talking about how to advertise properly or how to create a proper business or how to make a product, right? At all. What you guys have to understand is that people who are business people, this is what they're doing. They're doing what that Mentalist was doing, right? They're assessing your character, what you like, and they've done it so many times that there's only a few different archetypes of people, and so you can use probability to align what you think somebody might be doing or saying, right? And then, like he said, there are some people whose mind is geared toward cerebrality. At some level, I believe that all of us are picking up each other's emotions, intentions, and thoughts. There's a scientific, method to it, obviously, but doesn't mean that you can directly read people's minds and thoughts. But I know for a fact when I'm picking up thoughts that aren't mine, that aren't mine, right? Because I know what I'm thinking all the time. You know what I mean? Like, no bullshit. When I was a kid, I had a dream one time that my mom was having another kid, and nobody knew at the time except for her. And she was literally scared to tell anybody. She was going to tell me that morning. I woke up. The first thing I said to her was like, I had a nightmare that you were going to have a kid. And she was so shocked she didn't tell me. This is a true story, So it's like that, like at some level, right? What we describe as clairvoyance, like if you really focus and spend a lot of time training your mind to differentiate between what you're specifically thinking and certain emotions or impulses you pick up from other people, then you may be able to train yourself to be slightly better than the average person. You know what I mean? I mean, just like slightly. You know, either way. And so when you add that together with market research, then you have like a mentalist or a great businessman that knows if I do this and that and that, they're all gonna buy it. If I do this, if I say it like that, it's the exact same thing, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I thought that shit was crazy, man. They seem to be like generating so much traffic over there that I've been just watching like kind of in awe, you know, the amount of ferocity or you know, like the amount of traction they have, and it doesn't matter where it's posted, and if it's just a random clip, people are ready to have a dialogue,
right?
You know, and it's just funny to see because he was like down and out so many times technically where people were like, oh, this is the end, or like, how are you going to pivot? And it kind of just goes to show you that like, as long as you have, like he has what he needs at all times. Like he figured out like, I'm the guy. And
right.
As long as I put, yeah, no, as long as I put the people around that are going to be, they're going to like at least give me enough buffer to, you know, do what I need to do to be successful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and so, you know, I always praise him about his business model and how he's not doing the Adam 22 thing. He don't have to be Adam 22. He don't have to be Vlad. He don't have to be Ack. And he don't have to be, who else was I saying? Like Gilly or any of these other people, Joe Rogan, that are leaning on other people's clout, other people's opinions, other people's virality to keep himself in the game. That's why Joe's not going anywhere, because it's just him. We want to tune in to hear what he says, you know. And you know, I posted this clip. I know Tyson already knows this, but I posted this clip on my TikTok where I post a lot of Joe Budden clips because it's one of the only places you can post it without getting flagged. I posted a clip on there of them making a joke like, Joe, imagine if you were making $1 million a month. And they're like, no, this nigga make over $1 million a month, you know? And it was a joke at first, but then, you know, Ish confirmed it right after. Like, yeah, so anyways, yeah, Joe makes more than that. So anyways, and people was looking at me crazy when I first started saying that a few months ago. Yeah. I started saying that. I was like, listen, I'm like, I know how to count, man. I'm like, Joe is making definitely over $1 million a month just from the subscriptions. I said, I'm counting it. I mean, he's making over $1 million a month. And then he has the prize picks. And then he has this. And then he has that. I'm like, Joe might be in the 10 a month range. I mean aggregate. So like, so of course he's not taking home 10 a month, but I'm like, I can see him clearing 10 a month. Because there's a lot going, like what I'm talking about, low numbers is $1 million a month. That's the low number. If I had to guess, I'd put him somewhere around 3 or 4. Which is great.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's so much power in this, where the fact that like groups of individual people under 10, that way they have like probably 10 people on that whole crew, maybe more. You know, he probably has some editors and stuff. Even if it was like 15,
right.
It's not a big operation. And he's not the only one running things like that, where it's like Rogan's out there grabbing a huge bag. But even these smaller channels, and then you have like the regular streamers and the mainstream YouTube guys, like everybody's able to have so much motion and not really interfere at all. I guess that's just the gist of how many people are out there consuming content versus making it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that as long as you are consistent in what you do, there's going to be a niche of people out there that like the bullshit that you're talking. You know, I'm not a hater by any means. You know, I think that most everybody sucks, but hey, if you can make money doing it, then I'm inspired. I'm very much inspired.
I mean, Jess Hilarious was getting clowned on by half the internet. And then on top of that, I was very surprised to see her return back to work and then watch her whole crew, dig on her even more.
Well, let me ask you this: did you watch that clip, right?
Yeah, the 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah, Just Hilarious brought the Breakfast Club back to life. They didn't even know it.
That is true.
Brought them right back to life. We ain't watched a Breakfast Club clip in 5 years. I haven't watched one interview they did. Ever since they started letting Kevin Gates pause come on there. You gotta say pause every time Kevin Gates' name come up and shit. Last time they let Kevin Gates come on there, pause. I ain't watched nothing since then. And so this clip though, you already know. I'm like, oh, Jess going back to work? Oh shit. Well, let me click on it then. So yeah, they need to do this more often. They're like, Jess, listen, they like somehow you got your job back. Yeah,
that is true. I didn't think of it like that because I have not watched anything Breakfast. I didn't even know they were still going. Honestly, that was the crazy part. Like the last thing I heard was Yee leaving. I just figured they were maybe phoning it in on Zoom or something. I didn't, who knows? But it seems like they got a whole new place to record. They got a whole new showroom. I don't know who's watching it, but that's what I guess that's, I wanted to start the stream off almost because I seen these fucking group of people. They were pissed me off. I was just walking home from the store and they were just spouting off some nonsense that I'd seen on, various news. 3 people not contributing anything except drama to the world. Just sitting there complaining about some news that they have no control over. And I guess what I'm saying is there's a billion of those people out there just like waiting for the next person to tell them what's going on, And I think that applies to any type of content.
My bad, real quick. Before we leave the less hilarious, I don't know if we're transitioning away from that, right?
No, I was just commenting on the fact that the Breakfast Club is providing that same type of slop for certain people's, I guess what I'm saying.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there was something else that happened with less hilarious this week too, that it's kind of getting overshadowed, but it's very relevant to what we've been talking about. Shaq just had a big interview that dropped where they were asking him about the 4 white girls, and stuff. And go ahead, play that clip. Yeah, play this ridiculous clip.
Make sure I'm on the right. Oh yeah, all right, I'm on the right one.
Right?
Yo.
And this man is living like Neo. He got 4 white bitches, big booties, and then like
I'd never seen this. She just straight up telling. This is crazy.
Just your first time seeing this? Oh. Listen, you know what my first question is, right? What's my first question, Tyson? And we think back to our Angel Reese clip from last week, right? What is my first question? What in the blue hell are you doing at Shaq's house? Why are you at Shaq's house? Damn the 4 white bitches. What are you doing over there?
That is a good question. How do those two ever cross paths?
What is she doing over there, Tyson? What is she doing over there, Tyson? You know what she's doing over there? She is scouting. she's pre-planning what her next move is going to be should she get fired. She's over there getting her next job ready.
I thought you were going to say she was in like a figurative Dubai.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's literally what I'm saying. Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Auditioning for her next job over at Shaq's house. Shaq like, oh, they said they're going to fire you, baby. Well, I mean, are you hungry? I got the chef over here. He makes whatever you want. You want a steak? He'll cook a fresh steak for you. Cut the cow right there. I got the cow right there. He going
quick random observation. I'm at Shaq house yesterday, right?
Yo.
And
what was she thinking? Not thinking that this lady was going to take her job in some form of fashion.
I mean, look at her, listen to her, right? I mean, what are you talking about?
I'm just so confused. She's got the whole Chloe Bailey, like, separated eye look going on.
Right.
That's really in right now.
for some reason, but at least hers aren't like alien level. At least it doesn't actually look like a fish, you know.
I think Avatar did it. Like Glorilla, all these people kind of got like the same kind of like flat face.
It might have been Avatar.
Yo, this
that
man
got
is
people into that. It might have been Avatar.
living like Neo. He got 4 white bitches, big booties, and then like one is in the kitchen cleaning, the other one is in the basement. The like
Shaq,
4.
who, Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, I mean I don't know another Shaq,
Right.
but yes,
He be down in Atlanta.
Guess what, Jeff?
Yeah, he got a house.
She don't know
in
another
Atlanta.
Shaq.
Where is she at? Is she in the same studio as them? There's no way, right?
That would be hilarious. They're like, listen, you gonna film from in there today. Did he have you in the back? Oh, listen, right?
She looks like she's in school suspension.
She looks like she's in the basement, which is ironic because she said that Shaq had one girl cooking and the other one in the basement. You didn't say where the other 2 were. So does that mean that you was in the kitchen and the basement? Is that where you were at, Jess? Shaq took you to the kitchen, had one of his big booty white chicks cook for you, and he took you to the basement so you could eat the other one out. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Am I allowed to say that? Let's just look. Let's not play with it. That's why. Listen, Shaq called you over there so you can come eat his other bitches out. That's it. I know. Come on now, nigga. You know he wasn't. He wasn't. Like, no. I need you face down, darling. You don't hit Travis Hunter face up. Jess, you look like Travis Hunter. All right. You look. The face, the nose. She got a Heisman Trophy nose.
She definitely could breathe really well.
Jess, you over there to have face down in between white legs while Shaq might be hitting it from the back. And you so comfortable, you feel like you get to talk about his business. Cause what he gonna say when he call you? Oh, why you tell him that? Oh, well, did you see the clip that was circulating of Shaq talking about it?
No, I did not.
We're not living in a real world, dude. We're not living in a real world. It's like it sounds exactly how you would think it sounds. If I had you do an Ari Spears version of Shaq respond to this right now, that's what it sounds like. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
He got 4 wives?
4 white women.
Does Shaq want you to say this?
Yes. You'll never get invited to his house.
I don't give a hot goddamn.
What happened at the house?
Yeah, because she already got the
makes
check.
You never want to go back there again. That you told the story.
No.
Yeah, this is a good question. Why is she airing this business out for any reason?
Nah, I don't know.
Sound like a disgruntled ex.
Man, when I seen 2 of them was bad. The other ones they were getting there, but I couldn't believe
getting there, sir.
4 white
big
women.
hate.
No, I mean like the other 2 of them was.
She is a hater. She can't stand having to share screen time with the other girl and she can't share being one of his concubines either. Like she doesn't know how to.
That's why she's airing him out, because she realized that he's not calling her back. Because she was complaining too much. Oh, I'm not an eater. I'm not an eater. That's probably what she was saying the whole time. I'm not an eater. So he's like, all right, well, look, here, take this little 10,000. Don't call me again. So this is her way of getting some type of, money for that situation. She's like, well, shit, if I'm not going back, at least I can talk about it and go viral. And it worked. Listen, you can't hate Just Hilarious if you want, right? But like I said, she turned the Breakfast Club right back up. God damn it. If she's smart, she's like, oh, this is my lane. Like, yeah, Jess, you got to do what you do on the internet over here. You can't be over here reading, dude. You got to be, listen. I sucked Shaq dicks last night, and Shaq's dick is small. That's what you should have. That's what you're supposed to come out and do, Jess. That's what we're expecting from you. Come out and start talking about the nigga. Do the Melissa Ford. All right? Learn from Melissa Ford. Come out and start hitting at all the dudes you be sleeping with. Otherwise, you're out of here, buddy.
Holy shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Holy shit.
Let me see. Oh, all right. Where's the Shaq response?
I was trying to find. I thought I had watched it earlier, but it should be a quick one. Like, just like, because there was an interview that dropped with him and some other chick, that's like circulating across my thing. Like I said, I could have sworn I watched it, but I'm not finding it. If you type in Shaq interview 4 white chicks, or just type in Shaq 4 white chicks.
Damn, I can't type. Oh, is this it right here?
Probably. I don't know. I don't think so, but I'll put this on anyway.
Hell no. He's way too big to be crying, even fake. Yeah,
Imagine
that's the
Shaq
funny
doing
part.
the dance.
You know, I mean, he's like a bajillionaire. Like, this is like, there's probably a whole line of people waiting to just be at one quadrant of his house.
Okay. Look, if you go on our matter of fact, let me just send it to you in the I found the YouTube clip I was watching real quick. It's just the first
argument with him ends up killing him.
It's just the first 10 seconds.
Vegas?
No.
They
got
the argument.
Go to my Twitter real quick.
Argument / altercation at the.
If you go to my Twitter, I just posted it on there.
Okay.
Yeah, just the first few seconds of this nigga Shaq talking. It sounds like Ari Spears doing a parody of the situation.
Are you scared of marriage?
Yeah, because y'all crazy. I'm crazy.
Would you still do it scared?
No.
What would make you unafraid?
Most divorces happen because people say, I didn't know. I have to know. I got to know every angle.
How long does it take you to learn every angle, though?
I don't know. I got 4 white girls now, so I'm just trying to, go back and forth. I got, well, actually, I got 4 white girls now, so, that's going pretty good. Would I ever get married again? No, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy as hell. Yeah, no, y'all insane. I can't do it. But I got 4 white bitches now.
Honestly, 4 is very tame for Shaq because, like, if this was any other time in civilization, a 7'2" mongoloid who's like the strongest, most giant barbaric person in any radius around him would have 50 people in his cave. Or
Genghis Khan had all the virgins, all right? All of them. He wouldn't let none of them go.
So we better be grateful there's law and order, because if not, Shaq would be our ruler, is I guess what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, no, 100%. It would be like Shaq, or like, who? Think about the most dominant people in some of these fields. These are the people that would rule you if they didn't have other stuff to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, they just rule you. They dunk on you all day.
I think that's a good question. Like, if we were in Mad Max, like, who would actually be the president? Like, who would be?
Terry Crews. Go watch Idiocracy, okay? they I don't know if we can play that, but the Terry Crews Idiocracy, when he comes out, I promise you, it's like, these are the moments that make me such a big Terry Crews fan, even though we know, behind the scenes, obviously. But dude, I'm like, Terry Crews in that scene is the embodiment of it. Like he's sitting there talking about his policies, like, I'm gonna do this. Everybody starts booing him. The nigga pull the AK out. Now I done said. Oh my God. I love it.
No, the movie's actually pretty great. I think I stumbled upon a clip of it the other day, and I've had it in the back burner to go rewatch it, because it's funny. Everybody kind of memes on it being so, that's what we're going through now, but it really is that. Like, we're watching the dumbing down of society in real time, and the people that kind of are incentivized to be intelligent are furthermore kind of pushed into the shadows, or like you end up making decisions that allow dumb people, I guess, to procreate at a faster rate. I guess that's like the the gist of that movie was all the dumb people were having sex.
And not only that, it is completely debunking your guys' survival of the fittest narrative. Obviously, that's not as scientific as you think it is. Well, it has to fit natural selection. No, it don't. Obviously, if it fits natural selection, that would be you guys admitting that the world is if you are not having a lot of kids, if you grew up where we're too intellectually smart to have kids and we're dying off, hey, natural selection has chosen. The world has chosen, right? Based upon what you're saying, y'all don't want to have that one. Y'all don't want to have that conversation. And there was this funny ass bit. I don't think we have much more to talk about. I know this is our second one, so we've had time to really thoroughly go everything. But there's a funny ass bit on the regs that maybe we can watch on the way out if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
I have the timestamp here. So the regs is Bobby Kelly, Joe List, Louis J. Gomez, and Dan Soder. And the funny part about it is when Big J was doing the Christmas episode of the regs, he made a joke on there, right? Like, because he said he didn't write anything, so he was improv-ing. But he said something like, yes, I love all these guys up here. That's why I had shows with all of them until you guys hijacked me. I looked at him like, that's hilarious. I'm like, he has a show with Bobby, he had a show with Dan, and has a show with Lewis, and now they're all doing a show together. It's just such a funny joke that Jay pulls out of his ass, like in the moment. You know what I mean? Okay, so the timestamp is. Go ahead.
You said it was the last one, or no? You said Big J.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Okay.
No. That was just a joke about the show in general. But the timestamp is at 109. So usually the bits on here don't need context because this is more like Joe List style comedy where they're just popping in and out than it is like Lewis where it's story built. Joe hates when they go on long bits and shit. So it's a pretty good dynamic from them. Just to be safe, go to 109.45. 108.45. Let's see, if we need context, then I'll stop you. But I don't think we need context for this bit. So go ahead.
To Jamaica. Wasn't even the company this time. Me and Ralph just took it out of our fucking pockets.
Tens of thousands?
Yeah.
How much?
Like 20K total.
It's pretty crazy.
That's how much you spent in Jamaica.
Why? You could have put that towards the movie.
What movie?
I'm making another movie about Lewis and Skankfest.
Called Bug Eater.
I don't have a name yet.
I didn't want to like it, but I liked it.
Its working title's called Bug Eater.
They put it in
I
Australia.
didn't even get it. I thought Bagita. I thought it was like a Spanish.
It's about a man that eats bugs in a world where a Puerto Rican eats bugs.
If you landed on an island that made you fat,
that's really
you
good.
Might.
That's really good. You hear, Joe? That's really good.
That's
when
good.
a man
Joe is sick.
runs out.
Dan saves Lewis here.
This is the whole show. Joe is making fun of every episode. Joe is like, so I'm just gonna sit here and watch Lewis throw alley so Dan can do voices the whole time. Is that what this show is? Like that's a part of the show is them talking about how Joe hates that. That's all Lewis does. He said, Lewis, all you do is bring Dan in here so that way you can have him clean up all your jokes for you. Absolutely.
I see why you made the Big J comment now. Okay, because I'm now pulling the parallel. I'm a little slow to what you were saying, but yeah, now I'm feeling a little pissed off if I'm Big J because you just took. I was way better at this than you,
dog. Thank you.
You made the show worse,
and then you had Bobby come in, but I said, but the thing that saves it though is Joe.
Oh my God, sorry.
No, I was gonna say the thing that saves it is Joe, because Joe is the one that's gonna say what we're. Trust me, that's why as soon as he does the voice, you hear Joe again. Oh yeah, that's good. All sarcasm the whole time. You feel me? And so Joe is gonna be like, Lewis, you suck. Like you know what I mean? Like, but he's there because he understands like it can be a good product in its moments, But the whole premise of the show is Lewis looking at Big J and taking and other people because Joe got his start on Bobby's show. So Lewis just stole Bobby and Big J's show and brought it together. Literally. And by the way, this bit, I just came up with the name. This bit is actually called Joe Takes It Too Seriously. So usually like I said, this really gives you a good snapshot of what the dynamic is on the show. You know what I mean? So, but that's what this bit is called. Joe takes it too seriously. So,
Out of option.
Why don't you make a living doing voice acting?
I do voice acting, Joe, but you don't.
Hold on, do it like the In a World guy. Answer him.
He just did that. Oh.
If Joe cared about his friend, he'd know. It's been going on.
In a world where Joe cares about his friend.
In a world where Joe.
I'm sorry, Bobby. Do you make a living voice acting?
Why are you gonna throw me in this fucking?
I'm asking you. I gotta
By the way,
ask all my
that-
friends now. That's
that-
the only way to know. You don't tell me.
I gotta
You
ask all my
said
friends
that.
now.
kidding.
That's the only way to know.
Ask you, Ray.
This nigga's so stupid. I love Joe. That's like, Joe is the only reason why the show works. It would not work without Joe because Bobby and Dan are just doing Big J's show with Lewis. You know, literally.
They just made a worse version of the bonfire. It's like not. They've
Yeah,
done
no,
this before.
Right. It does have its moments, so that's why I'm gonna give it this credit because this is one of the ones that.
Well,
I'm like,
this is
actually-
essentially a reboot of YKWd, right? This is what
Yes.
they're attempting to do.
Yes, exactly. That is verbally what they're attempting to do. Yeah. So. Okay, go back just a little bit. Go ahead, just a little bit.
Fred.
In a world where Joe.
I'm sorry, Bobby. Do you make a living voice acting?
Why are you gonna throw me in this fucking?
I'm asking you. I gotta
By the way,
ask all my
that-
friends now. That's the only way to know. You don't tell me. You've never said that.
I'm kidding.
I'm supposed to just ask you randomly.
Joe, why are you upset? I was just kidding.
Lewis, do you do voice acting?
In a world where Joe can think a joke.
Joe takes it too seriously.
When Joe
So you do
throws
voice
everybody
acting.
under the bus.
I just saw that voice acting.
But do you make a big crazy living?
In a world
That's what I'm
where
asking.
Joe is still angry past the point.
In a world where Joe is taking it too literally.
In a bit where Joe.
So you don't make money voice acting.
But I don't make a.
In a
cost
world
of it?
where Joe won't let
Are you
go.
on SpongeBob?
No, I wish.
Are you on fucking Burger
In a world where Joe's trying to make a point that no one cares about.
In a bit. That's making you
Lewis.
angrier.
In a world where there's a bit that doesn't end because Joe can't take
So
the
Lewis,
joke.
I'm a bad friend to Dan. Why don't you name some of the shows that Dan has done?
In a
voice
world
acting.
where Joe tries to pit his friends against each other.
I'm just wondering.
There are no friends when Joe is stuck in a bit.
Lewis, what are some of the
In a
programs that
world where
Dan
Joe
works
is
on?
endlessly stuck.
I'll leave.
This episode.
I'll leave,
This
and then
episode
we'll
is
see where you guys are. Then where will you be?
Then where will you be? You see, he's like, listen, I'll leave, and then the show is gonna be trash. I love it, bro. Oh my god, dude, you gotta love Joe, man. You have to love his quirky. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say, and be as annoying. I'm gonna be more annoying than you're expecting me to be. However annoying you're expecting me to be, just expect me to go further. Oh my god, that shit had me crying when I first saw it, bro. And he was like, listen, I'll leave. All right. Listen, I'll leave. And then where will you be? Oh man. But like that, you know, it's the perfect way to lean into you know what I mean, to a bit like that, right? Instead of just, you know, he doesn't try to join into it and take the fun out of it, right? He leans into what his job in the bit is, which is to be the joke while also still making his part funny. This is deep comedy jargon anyways. That shit had me weak when I watched it, man. But yeah, like I said, if it's not for Joe bringing that element to it, then that's why Big J made that. He made that joke on the Christmas episode where he was like, "Well, I did have a show with all you guys until somebody stole you from me." Ha ha ha. It hits so hard, you know, for somebody like me who watches the whole universe. You know what I mean? So I watch the whole universe. So I'm like, he's so lucid when it's time to make a joke. He's so lucid.
It is so funny because if he just dialed that in a little bit to making a set, he would have had a tremendous. I guess they're all kind of disciples of Patrice. You said it earlier, where everybody has a little bit of a self-destruction gene, and Patrice was the epitome of that. So, you know, watching all of these guys, you know, they called themselves Legion of Skanks. They had kind of a mission to be in that vein already. Yeah. But you see them kind of trying to claw back at survival, you know, and adherence to the law. So it is funny.
Yeah, literally. I mean, listen. This is why I say Ari. Ari is the J.R. Smith, because he's gonna take it further to the point where now it's illegal. All right, what we're I thought, that episode. Excuse me, with Dr. Oz. I don't know if you guys ever saw that episode with Dr. Oz, but Dr. Oz and Ari Shaffir were on an episode together, and it got illegal.
Sounds about right. I don't know how Ari's not in a deep prison somewhere, like in a foreign land. Does he act like this when he
play the Kanye clip? I don't know.
Jewish doctor.
What? One more time. My bad. One more time. I know we didn't get a chance to really add these clips in there, but this shit was necessary.
It was a Jewish doctor.
That's why Ari's not in jail. You feel me? I love it.
My bad. I'm trying. There's something that we were talking about, the bonfire, and Big J did a Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and they just released the full footage. I'm trying to find exactly where he starts to talk about the bonfire specifically. Because this is kind of I don't know,
bro,
like what you
no way. My bad. I'm still listening, but just for the time being, look at this. Look at what O'Shea just dropped.
Yeah.
Did you see that already?
Oh no, I didn't. I did see they were beefing.
Marquette did a whole stream about him. And he privated it, so I didn't get to watch it. But I was really like, you know me, where's the popcorn? I can't wait, because Marquette is not the type of guy that's gonna be like, I won't come see you, because he be bragging about what he did to Kevin Samuels. So I'm like, I want to see Marquette fight Aaron like a mug. I like this is where Marquette makes his bones right here. This is where, listen, this is your big bad. This is your big, canonically, this is your big bad. If you come up and you put the paws on Aaron the Plumber, that's how you shoot right up. You know what I mean? Andrew Tate wouldn't give you the shine when you was trying to shoot shots at him, and you were trying to say, Andrew Tate, fight me. Did you know that Marquette pulled up on Andrew Tate unannounced in Romania? Did you hear about that?
No, I did not know that. That's fucking crazy.
Listen, we're not gonna even give some certain type of buffoonery shine. That's why we haven't talked about it. But yes, in one of the corniest moves I've ever seen of all time, giving West Coast niggas a bad name, boy. You gave us a bad name that day, dog. All right. Most of the time, despite whether or not I agree or disagree with you on certain things, you're giving a good image to what a black man from the West Coast, could look like and represent. That day, when you wanted to pull up on Andrew Tate for clout and brought in some chocolate or whatever he was talking about, you were already traveling, so you just decided to stop by Romania, and then he was like, "Who's outside my house? Tell him get away from me before," and then you left. That was wild. I don't know what you were doing that day. Listen, you tried it though. You tried it. I'm gonna watch this shit immediately though. Best believe that.
So this is Big J doing the Ask Me Anything. I guess it speaks for itself.
Right. Are you aware of how bad the bonfire has gotten, and why aren't you doing anything to try to fix it?
I love Bobby too. I love Bobby Kelly.
They say mean things about Bobby. The only places that still have positive things to say about the show are the ones that ban any criticism, like the Bonfire Facebook group. Stop pretending that people don't like Bobby because he's not Dan. Okay. Well,
that's literally why they don't like him. I mean, that's literally why they don't like him. And yes, it's also because he's not as good as Dan, but that's saying the same thing. You don't like because he's not Dan. You don't like because he's not as good as Dan. Whatever. Yeah, same thing. All right. Dan is Dan. Nobody's gonna be
what Lewis and fucking Zach did and just rebranded the show. Calling it the Bonfire again is just like, of course everybody is going to be mad. They have all the historic moments to compare it to. Why would they even like they're setting themselves up for failure.
You know, I definitely agree with you on that. And oh man, maybe they could have. If I was them, I guess they don't own the name. That's the major problem. Because if they would have owned the name, he would have been able to keep Dan. Because they don't have to do a show every day or however many times Jay records. They don't have to do that. The regs, you know, they only record once a month, and they put out one episode a month. And even though I don't like this, but Joe List and Mark Norman's podcast, you know, they record once a month too, but they record 4 episodes. So they record for 4 hours, and then they put out 1 episode a week. Yeah. Exactly.
That sounds kind of insane, honestly.
It is insane, and you can tell. And I don't like that they do that. Although I understand what they're trying to do, but they're not the type of guys that can do that because they're both snipers, so they're not long form guys. So it gets dry. You know what I mean? Episode 2 and 3 in a row. You're like, yep, this was hour 3 and 4 for them. You know, for sure.
I've never watched their show, so now I'm gonna have to just go watch it just for the context and watch like their end
like,
of the
this
month
is all
episode.
the same day, right? You're like, this is all the same day, and they're like pooped by the time this last one happens. You know, that shit is jokes. My bad. Go ahead, continue the.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, there's no. Oh, there was a question there. Am I aware of how bad the bonfire's gotten? No. I have fun. I laugh every day. And why am I doing something to try to fix it? I don't know how to approach that. I just show up every day.
I don't know how to approach that.
Stuff. J rules, haters are weird and gay. Thank you. They say listen every day.
Yeah, but I just thought that was funny because it literally there obviously is that sentiment, and any of these shows kind of have their peak success, right? Like everybody, they ride it to the top, and then of course it doesn't just end right when everybody's jovial.
Right.
So you get to watch everybody kind of peter out, and some people bow out gracefully, but other places just keep the show running for way too fucking long. They complain about it with Howard Stern and different publications. I mean, they're no different. I think people need to understand, like, there's some things that can be done in perpetuity, but other things have their time and place. And I don't know, they probably could have done the bonfire forever if they kept it at a pace that was reasonable.
If they would have, you know, exactly. And if they would have, instead of trying to replace Dan, if they would have tried to accommodate him and maybe bring in, you know what I mean, a Bobby or a with Dan, you know, that would have been way funnier, except for I don't know if the whole show would have just been about corn and who has the biggest dick size if Jay was running the show. That's the hang up too, right? Is we want Jay because he's so much funnier than Lewis, but we know that Jay does not have a producing bone in his body. He's a joke maker. You know, he's a joke maker. And so he just knows how to talk about what he thinks is funny.
No, he's literally the actors in fucking Hail Caesar.
Right,
you know,
right.
Yeah, where it's like Hobie Doyle. You know, he's a Sandman or a dust guy. I think was a dust man was the term they used. He's like, he knows how to ride a horse. He knows how to, you know, throw his rope.
Right.
But get him into the talking movies, it's just jumbling from there. And it's kind of the same thing you're seeing here, where they don't have as much range as they would like. Unfortunately,
and I think we started off the show with that as well. You know, this is the year that I'm finna start being way more honest with people. You know, I don't mind that you guys, you know, make money and all that, but listen, most of you guys are terrible. You're trash. You don't have an independent thought in your head. There's nothing really going on. Like Trapper Ross, you need a computer in front of you. You need to be reading something from somebody else. All right. You need to be doing what Myron does, reading indictments and talking about the stuff that your boss told you. So that we can get some insight into what your bosses think. That's all you are. You're a vessel. You're a vessel for your boss, sir. I want to know what they say about this type of stuff. read Wikipedia pages and shit. I don't have to read nothing. You know, I don't have to read anything. You know, I'm creating ideas. I'm putting things into the ether. All right, I'm coming for y'all. Pause.
I think that's a good way to end it off because Stoic did ask
Yeah.
at the beginning of the show, like, what was the purpose of the show? And I thought,
Listen, we'll start. We'll start with that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
man.
no, yeah, but you know, we had to come in here and finish all the topics that we had from yesterday because you know I wasn't feeling that well yesterday, but we powered through and I started to really feel it at the end. You know, so you know this is just like a part 2 to our stream from yesterday, and you know, like I said, you know earlier, I think I'm gonna start putting out all of these clips quickly, like I want to, but just put them out on the clips channel. You know,
Gotcha.
so that way we can just, you know, try to drive as much traffic as we can to, you know, these long form streams, which I noticed Adam 22 does that as well.
I'd be
You know,
fine with
most of-
that. I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, that was the example. It's like as soon as that next day hit, every bit of clips they had came out.
Right, but on the other channel, so that way he doesn't clog up the lane for what he just posted.
Yeah.
Because whatever he posted last is what's going to get pushed out, you know, to his direct fan base right away. So he wants to make sure that his fan base right away is always seeing the long form content, and that drives up the viewers for that, you know, because you get paid more on the long form content, you know. So either way.
That makes sense. All right. Well, yeah, no, I'm definitely down for that. And like we said, it's way less pressure on the mains. Just put stuff out.
Right. And slowly but surely you'll see me like taking some of the other stuff off that I have on there as I find like homes for it. You know, most of it is already private, if you notice. Like I pretty much went in there like said, after I had the conversation we had last week, I went in there and like got rid of like almost all the irrelevant stuff. And I'm gonna start deleting it and finding somewhere else, you know, to put it just so I can have it there for when I need it, you know. But I'm gonna start skipping it down to as much just long form content as possible. If you look at even our most watched video, which is still the one that gives us the most followers, it's that long Andrew Tate, Candace Owens, Dan Bilzerian debate.
Yeah.
And you know, so the long form content is what most people look for when they come here, is what I'm assessing.
No, that's where they spend the most time. Shorts are just in passing. It's akin to like eating candy. It's not a full meal. So like, yeah, you're gonna grab a short or two when you're here and there, but realistically, if you're spending any amount of time on the platform, you're going to be digesting anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, depending on what type of viewer you are.
Right. And still shorts on the main channel too, you know, because that is obviously, you know what I mean, but you know, as far as the smaller clips, I'm probably gonna do that, you know. So, you know, you guys look out for our shorts, look out for our clips channel, right? I think it's called Real Offensive Clips. I made it a while ago, so I don't remember what it is, but I think it's Real Offensive Clips. Go follow us on there. I mean, I'm gonna be posting all the clips from all the streams at a rapid pace over these next few weeks. So
also if you're more of an audio guy and you just, you know, want to listen to some nonsense in the background, listen to us ramble about, you know, however many topics, Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, I just got all those up and running, so you can find us on there. Real Offended, real easy. It's search it and it comes right up. So
amen. And it's starting to get to the point where when I type in Real Offended on YouTube, our channel pops up first. It didn't used to be like that. I used to have to type in Real Offended and then go to the thing and select channels because they would just bring up whatever, you know. But now when I type it in, even like on the burner accounts, it'll pop up, you know. So I think our name is starting to ring bells, you know. And I'm gonna tell you like this, like I said last time, the reason why we're not on the, you know, let's, you know, try to, you know, max everything out right now and you know, try to hurry up and find the viral stuff and whatever, because what we're doing here is timeless content. I can promise you that. You're gonna know, even if we're talking about subjects that are relevant to the news, the way we talk about it is going to be timeless. What we give to it is going to be game that allows you to understand what's actually happening from a broader standpoint and how it relates to the overall happenings of the world. Not just reporting on some news and repeating to you what Joe says or somebody else says. Joe could never stand toe to toe with me in this, and I think Joe is the best. Joe could never, and Wack is probably the only one right now. Wack is probably the only one that's even close. But on certain subjects, like if we start talking about science, what is Wack gonna do with me? If we start talking about religion, what is Wack? Are you serious? That's what I said. Wack is the Jordan to our Kobe. You know what I mean? He's the Jordan to our Kobe, like a motherfucker.
On Pyru, gravity is
gravity on bloods, gravity on bloods. I seen gravity. That's probably what they think I sound like, right? On talking to dudes on Modern Day Debate. That's literally what they think I sound like.
No, 100%.
Yeah, they think I sound like Wack 100, and I'm telling you, that's what I was doing a Wack 100 when I went on there. Especially like that first time. The second time when I did the debate with Leo, you know what I mean? I was more poignant and directive, you know what I mean, doing it. But that first time, I'm like, I'm finna come in here and Wack 100 bully ball this nigga Mark. I'm gonna demoralize him. I'm gonna eat his face off. Pause. You know what I mean? I'm gonna overwhelm him. This Wack against Trapper Ross, me against Mark. But it took me about 45 minutes to get Mark to be like, okay, get me out of here now, please. Just get me, Mom.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike?
Hey, listen, that's gonna be that might be our outro every time from now on. That I might put that outro on every one of the shorts, on every one of the short clips. I'm the best to ever do it. Listen, I'm Mike Tyson. All right, I'm Mike Tyson and Floyd. We're having fun.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh no, my bad. Last thing, because we have to say a comment about this nigga. So the channel, The Stop, right? This channel right here, The Stop.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay, so he's the main leader of Joe Budden's detractor fan club, right? He's obviously a big Joe Budden fan, right? This guy right here. Shout out to Stop, because he's starting to gain a lot of traction now that Joe's getting bigger. Obviously, he's starting to get huge. And I told you Ian was on his thing last time, right?
Yeah.
He just put out his first long form content showing his face. Did you see that? So
no, I didn't.
Dude, he got bald Tracy Morgan. He got dark, skinny Big Sean, and he got Rocky, which is some chick that used to be, in Joe's circle or whatever, all on there, big hating on Joe. Literally, the whole show is just them hating on Joe the entire time. And I just want to say to The Stop, bro, what you're doing on your channel is great. Right, I see the lane, and I tune into a lot of your stuff because you keep me abreast with certain little nuances that I might miss when I'm trying to figure out all the things going on behind the scenes. Right, so I appreciate you doing that, bro. Get that Tracy Morgan nigga the fuck out of here. All right, I don't know where you found this nigga at, bro. That nigga sound like he doing a Rick and Morty voice. A Rick and Morty version of Tracy. This is what I saw. This is what it sounded like the nigga talking. I'm not exaggerating either. I'm like, where did you find these niggas? I know where you got Rocky from. And by the way, goddamn, Rocky bad than a motherfucker. But you know what Joe keeps around him. If a chick is around Joe, you know what time it is, right? So Rocky bad. I'm gonna try to find the best way to say this as it comes out. Pause. It literally looks like love don't cost a thing where you have her, you know what I mean, and she's hanging with him before he gets suited, right? Rocky looks like Christina Milian hanging out with Nick Cannon and all of his friends before she dressed him up. That's what it looks like. dead. I mean, blah, 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 blah. This is what it sounds like. I'm like, where did they find Budget Big Sean, Mushmouth Tracy Morgan, and I'm not gonna say nothing about. I don't even know your name, bro. I just know you just stop. All right, so I don't know. Maybe do a headshot next time, bro. Whatever, because
is he the guy in the orange?
He's the big one. Yes.
Oh yeah.
With the laptop in front of him. Hey, with the laptop in front of him. Hey, why do you think you got that laptop there? Because he's Trap Lord Ross. Listen, you're the Trap Lord Ross of Joe Budden. That's why you have to have that laptop. All right. Listen, hit the gym, go for a run. All right, you're on camera now, sir. All right, you're not Queen Flip. Queen Flip gets to be that big on camera because Queen Flip is like Kobe, you know, or like, you know, what I compare him to. Queen Flip is like a Jamal Wallace, you know what I mean? Queen Flip is a hooper. That's why he get on camera and points is getting scored. Dog, you were sitting there quiet the whole time, not doing nothing but taking up more space than everybody in the room. Anyways, shout out to you though, bro. I see you working, dog, for real. His shit is turning up now that Joe is really starting to the point. Like I said, Joe and Ian and everybody from the cast, they have to come to his rooms when he does Twitter Spaces. So he's like the top Joe guy. But Jesus Christ, he put that first long form out. I'm like, dog, you're gonna find out quick. You're gonna find out quick that it ain't as easy as Joe makes it look. It ain't as easy as Joe makes it look, you know. And Joe has a lot going for him. He's a light-skinned, bald guy with a rap following already. You are a short, big. All right.
It looks like The Weeknd with no sauce.
The Weeknd with no sauce
took all his flavor away. It's
right. He's like nigga. You're like The Weeknd with an extra day. Anyway,
no,
that was corny.
No, I could honestly, I could see why people are roasting him. Like even myself, right? I'm self-aware enough to know like what type of jokes are gonna come my way without having to like really mess with it. If I start to catch pressure, I've caught it before. Like I'm not too worried about it, right? But like these people that run these faceless channels for so long, like you can tell like that's their kryptonite. It's like is being visually fucking depicted and just torn apart. They couldn't even imagine. So that and most of the faceless channels are their whole is all critique. They're not you know, they're not bigging people up. It's funny. I watch a lot of people who watch the faceless channels and they're every time is like, yeah, but you're not showing your face. That's the hill they'll die on. And it's a valid hill. Like, yeah, if you're not willing to put yourself out in the atmosphere and take criticism, how can we trust that your criticism is valid? And yeah, I guess, you know, props to him for being able to sit through it.
Right. That's the thing. I'm like, props to him for doing it. You know, he got out there and he did it. And so I'm not going to really roast him like I could. And you know I could too. I got jokes for you, dog. But I like what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I'll just roast the other two guys, Budget Big Sean and
that isn't Big Sean.
Thank you, Tyson. No, it's not. Look at him though. You're like, where did this nigga find Flavor Flav Big Sean? This nigga found the dark doppelganger version of Big Sean.
I swear to God, I thought that was Big Sean. It's the thumbnail. It's the thumbnail.
Yeah, and listen to Tracy Morgan. I say Rocky. And listen to Tracy Morgan talk just for a few minutes. Listen to this nigga's
voice. No, it was like one text that his baby mom actually saw on his phone, and we laughed about it because I was like, okay, so at least you see.
Is he chewing gum or is that just his tongue flopping?
I think it might just be his tongue.
I'm not pursuing him. Right?
You showed her the text?
No, she saw it on his phone.
Oh, gotcha.
We talked about it.
Wow.
You hear this nigga?
And we actually.
Hey, Rocky, I just want to let you know, right? I don't know if Rocky's going to see this, but Rocky, we don't believe that dumb story you just told. We don't have to hear it, all right? Because it's annoying in my voice, in my ears. Her voice is terrible, but she's made to be on camera though. Rocky, nobody believes that dumb story. You expect us to believe that you were hanging around Joe for all these years, right? Just as a friend, and then when Joe finally gets money, he makes a pass at you and says, "Hey, if you want some," and you replied, "Ill." Like, ew, nasty. Rocky, what does your nigga look like, Rocky? What does your nigga look like? I love doing this. Is my favorite thing. I tell you, I'm the best at picking apart people's lives. Girls try to come up to me all the time, like, oh, you're ugly. I don't even like you. I'm like, I'm ugly. You don't like me? All right, let me see what your ex-boyfriend looks like. No, I don't want. Oh, you know why you don't want to show him? Because that nigga's a sloppy ass nigga. That's why. He's a big, sloppy, weird looking nigga. So you know you can't come up to me talking about you don't like me, bitch. You love me. You're in love with me, and you would do anything I wanted you to do. But your ego is so big that you have to pretend like you're turning me down. Ha! Pish posh, pish posh. You could never turn me down. And I'm just saying that you see the type of chicks that Joe messes with. Are you serious? You think he can't get Rocky? I could get you, Rocky. Rocky, don't come around me. I can say it. You can hear me say it. Say, I swear he's not going to get it, and I'm going to still get it. You know why? Because what does your last nigga look like? Pull him up right now. Pull him up, and guess what? Maybe he is a big stud like Ashton, right? Now, put him on camera. Let me talk to him then. Let me talk to him. Let's see where his head is at. You're not going to find anybody, you know what I mean? Very few people have the look and the mind to go with it. So you're not fool enough thinking you turning down shit from Joe. You're not turning that, and Joe hands out money to the girls he has sex with. You probably got to a point where you probably wanted something more with Joe. If I'm just guessing, I know I'm right about this, but look, this is what really happened. Joe used to pay you for sex, right? Joe used to pay you for sex, and as he started getting more money, you didn't like the position you were in because you understood that I'm not just gonna be the paid. I want to try to work my way into having a relationship, and then you realize that wasn't gonna happen. He rightfully so said, no, I want you around still, but you're always gonna be the paid for sex girl. You know, you'd have to do a whole lot to get out of that hole, and you're probably not gonna do it. And then after that happened, you tried to pretend like you were turning him down, and now you're here telling us this story. That did not happen. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to bring this up to give a message to the dude from the stop, because like I said, I like what he's doing, but look at that. Look at that. Just look at that. You're like, ooh. He thought I was killing him with this. Yeah, the orange bounce off my skin. I'm gonna stall you out. But that is
he looks
awful.
Just like Guillermo.
He does look like Guillermo. Damn. You look like Guillermo. Oh, I don't know. Joe Biden this week. It looks like Joe Biden and Melissa Ford. That's what he talks like. It looks like Joe Biden. Anyways. Shout out. I don't know his name. Whatever from the stop, man. Shout out you, dog. You doing
Danny
your thing.
from the stop.
Danny. That's it. You look like a Danny. Jesus Christ. Newman from the stop. All right, man. All right, we can get off this thing, man. You want to take us out with the Mike Tyson clip one more time?
Yeah, we'll run it back one more time just to let everybody feel it one more time.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying that?
Yeah. You heard what I said. You heard what I said. All right, man. I appreciate you coming back and finishing this today, bro. Let's